Oh, hold on, CC. Lucas. Look at the cocks re-breaking. What happened to that horse?
The cock's juice is flowing today, boys.
Welcome to Racers.com, everybody. I'm Magic with Mike Somich and special guest JD Fox. We are with you live to be talking about Gulfstream Park's late pick 4, covering all of the action as well as the Kentucky Derby and Oaks Preps happening at Oaklawn Turfway. Gentlemen, happy to see you. Happy April 2nd here. Mike, I'll throw it to you first. Big day of racing. It's been going great so far, especially if you bought the inside track to the Florida Derby wagering guide.
It's been a busy day, man, and we are like halfway through it. These 14 and 13 race cards there's something. We got 12 over at Turfway, so we're not messing around there either. Santa Anita just started. Aqueduct's midway through their card. It's a handful to try and just keep up with this. I mean, I'm trying to get 5 tracks in at once here. There's basically a race going every 4 minutes. It's pretty crazy right now.
Yeah, we were on the text chain earlier today just to make sure we're all on the same page for everything. And I stepped away for half an hour. I came back and I was like, I have no idea what any races these guys are talking about because it was just rapid fire. But at the same time, I was like, well, at least I know that if I have to step away for a minute during the live show, these two could just banter back and forth. JD, good to have you on the show, buddy. Welcome.
Hey, thanks, guys. And yeah, when we're talking about middle pick 5s at tracks, that's generally either peak D-Gen or, it's a big race day. So it's definitely falling on the ladder here today, Magic.
Well, we're happy to have any of you who are watching us live on YouTube and Facebook. Thanks for joining us. This is a very interactive show. If this is your first time, we're not able to show the races live, but we're going to be talking about betting angles and everything. And we always do, or I'll try to always do, a draft pick 4 sequence. And so since we're covering Gulfstream Park's late pick 4, gentlemen, let's just jump right into it. The first race that kicks things off here is the next race at Gulfstream Park, and that's race 11. The Sanibel Island Stakes. You've got 3-year-old fillies going to mount the 16th on the turf. Mischievous Kiss, using the live odds right now after being the 2-1 morning line favorite, is the 8-5 favorite on the board, it looks like. Mike, who do you want to use in this race, and kind of walk me through handicapping a little bit?
Well, I'm not going to use Mischievous Kiss because I'm going to leave that to one of you two. Give me the 6 Shed Nation here. First time off a longer layoff for Christophe Clement. We've got Irad Ortiz aboard. Was actually favored over Mischievous Kiss last time out and got just a terrible trip. Was wide on both of the turns. I think 5 or 6 wide going into the stretch. I think we hopefully will get a little bit better of a trip. We get Irad aboard, like I mentioned, and we're getting a good price here at 4-1 right now. So let's kick this off with Shad Nation here at the number 6 horse at 4-1.
Mike, by the way, I'm going to put you in charge of keeping track of this.
Oh, jeez.
Pen and paper handy.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, you got it, Mike. You got it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
JD, he is going to take Shad Nation. Where do you want to go here, buddy?
Well, I'm also not going to take the 1. I'm going to take the 2 Beach Nut Trophy back-to-back wins. Jose Ortiz up for the best chest hair in the game, Safi Joseph Jr. I really like what this horse has done since switching to the turf. So I really think this is going to be your closer in the race. And right now, 4-1 morning line, we're floated up to 6-1, I think is a must include in the sequence.
Oh, God, you guys, you're going to make me be the one to pick Mischievous Kiss in this spot? Or do we try and skip her in here? Because 7-5, it's been a bit of a chalkier day. And I don't know. What do you think here? Because I'll throw it to you two. If not Mischievous Kiss, I would go with the 8 Ambashoes for Grand Motion. And Luis Saez. Grand Motion has already gotten 1 horse home earlier in a stakes race today, and you're getting 7-1 versus the 7-5 favorite. So I guess a good discussion point here. Which of those 2 would you want to use in this ticket, Mike?
Well, I mean, this is up to you completely. So if you leave the 1 off, it is entirely your fault if we're out after the first leg. So just making sure that we all realize that. I have the 1 as my top pick in this race. I have a pressed pick 4 going through the 1 here. So, if I'm playing a big ticket, I mean, look, we're playing a caveman style here. I would probably put the 8 on the caveman style ticket, but I would put the 1 if I was singling in the race, if that makes sense.
It does. And JD, you took my top pick in here, the 2 Beach Nut Trophy. Do you like the 1 at all, or should we go with the 8?
I am only 1-2 in my multi-race exotics here, and I went deep in the pick 5 and deep in the pick 4, so I'm 1-2.
Let's do it. Hey, listen, we've got Joel Rosero riding for Bill Mott, and the horse is second off the layoff. And when Mike and I covered this on the Magic Mike show, this is my second choice after Beach Nut Trophy. So JD and I are pretty lock stock here. So I didn't love how the horse ran in the stretch, but it is second off the layoff, and it is a stakes winner. She's got a lot of kicks. So you think with Rosario being aboard, 23% second off the layoff with a positive ROI for Mott. Yeah, let's throw Mischievous Kiss on there. Be a little chalky, but we'll roll with that one. Let's go to the next one at Gulfstream Park, which is going to be, race 12, Gulfstream Park Oaks. Now, if you want to talk chalky, Mike and I, when we covered this race, we only were on Kathleen O and the 2 Katish, and now we're on to just kind of Kathleen O because Katish is running at Turfway Park. Not the right decision, in my opinion, but obviously we're going to use Kathleen O. Do we use anyone else here, gentlemen? Do we try and go deeper, or do we just single her?
I mean, I'm too deep in this race. I'm using the 6 Blustery on my tickets simply for the wire-to-wire hope here. Kathleen O and Goddess of Fire are both coming from further back. Blustery should improve, stretching out here from 7 furlongs. Is literally the only speed left here. So I am kind of throwing some pasta at the wall and hoping it sticks here and see if we can get the 6 to go wire-to-wire at 30-1.
That's an interesting, reverse Jonathan Thomas angle. Obviously, Scratch Katish running at Turfway Park lost this horse via claim in the 35,000 maiden claiming condition last time out. Now in the barn of Daniel Hertak, Blustery at 30-1. I'm single to Kathleen O everywhere. I think you guys hit the nail on the head here. It would be 2-7 if Katish was still in, but I think singling the 7 is what I would do. But obviously there is a chance the 6 will be in front. I think that's the one spot that horse can run and have a chance to win. So you got to go for it. And obviously, Mike's given a 30-1 shot. I'm never going to say, let's throw that horse out.
Well, and especially if we're using Mischievous Kiss earlier and we're going to have some chalk later in the card as well. I think 30-1 here, could be a good spot. We talked about it, Mike, on the Magic Mike show, that the one way Kathleen O loses is she has another one of her classic bad breaks, and now she's going 2 turns, and that kick to try and pass the horses in the stretch isn't going to be as strong because now she's going 2 turns. So I'm with you. Let's go 6-7, and maybe we can save the third bullet from this one. For a different leg here. I know JD mentioned he was going deep in a different leg. Let's move on to a race 13 at Gulfstream Park. This is going to be the Kitten's Joy Appleton Stakes, going a mile on the turf, and it's older males, and a couple of them are cutting back or changing distances. So I'll start things off. My top pick is going to be the 9 English B. I'll get that out of the way. This is a horse that is 3 of his 5 turf wins have come going a mile, so I like that. You would think with English Channel and Kitten's Joy breeding that longer the better, but it seems like, hey, maybe a mile is the best spot here. We're getting 7-2 on the morning line. Horse hasn't been this short since winning an optional claiming event last August at Colonial Downs, but Grand Motion, I think, is having a nice day. I think he continues it here, and Luis Saez is in the saddle. So I'm going to start off with the 9 English B. Mike?
I think the 1 Noble Indy is going to trip out here. I think you're going to see quite a bit of speed, and Noble Indy sit right behind it, sit on the rail on both turns, and be able to get first run on the leaders. It's going to be a little tough to run down. So I'm going to go with the 1 Noble Indy.
JD, the 7 Phantom Currency is the 3-1 favorite on the morning line. Are you going to use him, or are we going to pass on him?
I am looking at Grace Fable as my top selection here, the 5-1 on the morning line. The winner of this race last year and won this race off of a similar layoff. Now, much easier pace projection there, obviously took the lead and ran with it. The one thing to keep in mind that you guys may not be aware of if you're just looking at the past performance is this horse stayed in training for Roger Outfield, was entered 3 times at Woodbine. All of those races were washed off the turf, and this horse is not running on the synthetic. So this is a horse that looks like it was taken out of training after the August 15th effort at Woodbine, but actually trained up until October. And you can see if you look at the workout pattern that was the case. So Roger Atfield with a good chance here with Grace Fable, defending champ in this race. Lots of speed signed on, but I still think this could be a tricky scenario here, because sometimes, and I think we've all talked about this together on shows before, is sometimes when there's a lot of pace signed on, the jockeys start overthinking it, and this could be Junior Alvarado just up to the front with Grace Fable.
Mike, this isn't a horse either one of us used on our tickets for the Magic Mike show, and probably for the same reason, there does look like there's a lot of pace on here. But Grace Fable, if he's ready off the layoff, do you think this is a horse that could be very dangerous on the lead?
If he gets the lead and it's not pressed, then yes. I mean, that's the key. I think JD brought up a good point. Sometimes, look, jockeys should read the form, most do, as do trainers. And a lot of times they'll look at a race and say, well, there's going to be 4 horses that go. Let's sit just off it. Well, if 3 of the 4 jockeys say that, then there's just 1 horse out there running. all of a sudden it makes it a lot easier. And when you look at Wolfie's Dynagos, you look at Noble Indy, you look at Phantom Currency, you can make a case that all three of the connections there say, let's set off it a little bit. I think Noble Indy definitely will. I think Wolfie's Dynagos can, and maybe even be better off the pace a little bit. So you could start to make a case that Grace Fable could kind of catch a break there. JD also knows Woodbine a lot better than I do, and Atfield obviously a trainer up there. So if he's pushing that horse, then it's not one that I would generally throw off. I do think this might be a good spot to throw our bonus pick in, since I think the 2 or the 3 would be an interesting one to kind of add to the list here. Do you guys have any interest in either the 2 or the 3?
Oh, I'm a big fan of the 3. You know that. So I vote for the 3. But JD, what do you think? You're the guest.
I'm using both of them, but I do have a preference on the 3 over the 2.
I'm a Wolfies fanboy, so.
Listen, if we don't use Wolfies and he wins, I don't know how Mike and I can come back on Monday to our show. So this is a horse, but by the way, you look at his time form early pace rating, it says he should probably be setting the pace. He wins by just sitting off of it, and there is a bunch of speed in here, and not all the speed is shown they like to pass. So maybe that's how we can get Wolfie's Dynagos home. So all right, so what's the final on this one? We're 1, 3, 5, 9, correct?
You got it.
1, 3, 5, 9. Passing on Phantom Currency. We're hoping, I guess in this case at least, that Phantom Currency off of the 14-month layoff almost is not ready to go here. It's a big task, but Irad is riding. Makes things a little scary. What's scary if you are against Weta Barrio is the Florida Derby. This is our last race. Race 14. Gentlemen, let's get it out of here. Weta Barrio is going to be either Mike or I's vote. So, Mike, I'll let you take Weta Barrio if you'd like.
All right, I'll take Weta Barrio. Look, I interviewed the owner over on Racing Dudes YouTube. You can go check that out. He said the same thing that Safi said, the trainer. This horse was sick 2 weeks before the Fountain of Youth. I'm sorry, before the Holy Bull. Didn't get a chance to jog at all during that time and stay fit. Was about 75 to 80% cranked for the Holy Bull. Still looked absolutely awesome in that effort. I don't think Weta Barrio really needs the lead. I think that you're going to see Weta Barrio sit right behind Classic Causeway and charge it and kind of trip out. I mean, this is one of those situations where, Weta Barrio made his own, or he tripped out last time, but that's because he made his own trip. I have a feeling that he'll be able to do the same thing with his tactical speed. All reports from Gulfstream is that this horse looks bigger, which is also another positive. It just seems to be progressing at the right time. So give me the 7, Weta Barrio.
JD, you're the guest, so I won't make you pull anchor on this race. Who do you want?
I'll take Classic Causeway. Obviously, I think going to be the favorite here over Simplification. I think Classic Causeway, we're looking at probably 5-2 come post time. But I do think has the best chance to wire this field, very similar to the Sam F. Davis and Tampa Bay Derby. Obviously, first time over the Gulfstream surface. We'll see how that goes. But I think we have to include Classic Causeway here.
Mike and I would agree with you. That's a horse that we liked. I think we both had Weta Barrio first and Classic Causeway second, so it's going pretty formful. Comes down to me, and listen, this comes down to either Simplification or Charge It, right? I don't think that any of the long shots have much of a chance of winning in this race, at least. And if I'm going to take a shot against one of them, I'm going to take a shot against Charge It, because going from a maiden special weight win to the Florida Derby against this Florida Derby, this isn't last year's Florida Derby that Known Agenda won. This is a much, much, much tougher one, it seems like. So I'm going to go with Simplification, a horse that continues to run well at Gulfstream despite not changing leads. And yes, that's the thing that I harp on all the time. I don't care. It annoys the hell out of me. Just change your damn leads, horse, and you'll be a lot better. So, Mike, you made a good point on Magic Mike Show, by the way. If that horse actually does change leads in the stretch, look out, because then I think he's super dangerous here. So it's super chalky, but we're going to go 2, 3, 7 in this spot. Let's go to the chat here for this race. Cindy, actually, wait, no, we've got the Sanibel Island about to go, don't we?
Real quick, can I make a crazy case?
Yes.
All right, let's. So if we throw one more horse on the last, it'll cost us $48 for the pick 4. Can we throw an absolute bomb in on the 11? The 1 was actually the other one that I was thinking about, because I do like Strike Hard, who was favored over Simplification a ways back and ran second to Weta Barrio. The 11 ran a 1.8 miles last time out, was running into it, running well, had a bullet workout 2 back by Constitution. If the pace collapses, I do think the 11 has a outside chance of doing something crazy here. And again, we're 30-1 on the morning line.
I mean, I think he's got a great shot to hit the board at that price. I think if he wins, I think we've had another Fountain of Youth where a couple of horses don't finish the race. But JD, what do you think here? I mean, it's not our money; it's Mike's money. So, do you want him to throw it on?
Let's throw Steel Sunshine, and hopefully we don't have to listen to that Lynn song if the horse wins. I mean, we already had Mr. Brightside with a big upset last night in Australia. And obviously that was played all night on Twitter, so I don't want that Lynn song. So
Steal
yeah,
my sunshine.
$48, as you can see there with the addition of the 11.
And they are off in the Animal Kingdom Stakes right now. This is going to be crazy just trying to follow along with all the action. They're off at the Animal Kingdom at Turfway Park right now. That's going to be a tough one to check. We've got horses in the paddock right now at Gulfstream. So we're still 11 minutes out from that race. Do we want to kind of jump into the Sanibel Island Magic?
Wait, what? You just said that they're... Wait, are
Oh,
they behind?
They're 3 minutes, but they're still in the paddock.
Oh, okay. So, you said I thought you said 11 minutes to post. I was like, wait, what the hell happened? I thought there was a delay. Yeah, they are still in the pad. Oh, shut up, Pete. That wasn't Pete. That was Ron. Yeah, let's talk about the Sanibel Island. Let me pull this race up here. We're back to the 3-year-old fillies, and I actually want to go back to the chat because Ashley, right when we very first started, had a question for us. So let me pull that up for her. Ashley, besides the one Mischievous Kiss, who is your big favorite, even money right now, who do you like as backups to start the pick for? So we talked about the 2. We talked about the 6. Let's expand beyond that. JD, is there someone besides the 1, 2, 6 you would recommend for Ashley?
I think the horse that we left off, the 8, would probably be the next horse that would make sense. Grand Motion with Louis Saez up. Obviously, only win coming on the synthetic, but ran a good effort on the on the Gulfstream turf course in the Swedish Chant, then came back and threw in a clunker in the Florida Oaks. So I do think that horse has a chance to rebound, and both efforts at Gulfstream, the synthetic effort and the turf effort, were pretty decent on a speed figure front as well. High speed figure on that Swedish Chant second place behind Opalina. So if you're adding another horse, the 8 would probably be somebody that I would recommend.
Mike, we talked about this horse that if you throw out the Florida Oaks, her form looks pretty good, and maybe she just hated the soft going. Maybe she hated Tampa's turf. She fought Manny Franco for a lot of the race, and when it was time to go, she just didn't have anything. So I like the 8. What about you?
Yeah, the eight is getting a huge jockey upgrade. No offense, Manny Franco, but Luis Saez way better. Opalina, who won that race 2 backs, pretty darn good horse as well. So the 8 makes a ton of sense here. The 9, My Philly Twirl, I think makes a lot of sense as well. Should sit right outside the lead. Has been good in the last 2. Hopefully can improve again here. If the 9 improves, I think the 9 could be a little bit of trouble as well. In my tickets, I ended up going 1, 6, 8, 9. I did not use the 2, so hopefully we can get the 1 or the 6 home to keep us all alive. And another breaking news: Baffert just got suspended in California, so we also have that to talk about now.
I know. I saw that right before we came live that they're officially reciprocating Kentucky's ban, and so Baffert. So it's great in California, great in this situation because Baffert now has to disband the entire stable. His signs have to go away. His memorabilia, everything that says Baffert in that barn has to be gone. It has to literally be empty because he's suspended for longer than 60 days.
And that process had already started this morning, so that kind of tipped the hat of what was actually to come.
You hate to see it. You hate to see it, boys. Oh. Meanwhile, over at Oaklawn, he's about to win with Cezanne, right?
Right. Yeah, it's wild. This is an interesting race, though. I think this Sanibel Island could be. Look, the even money seems awfully short here on the 1 horse. I mean, I do think that Mischievous Kiss is your most likely winner. Second off the layoff for Mott, Rosario in the reins. Like we discussed, everything fits here. Rent's third with Opalina running second last time out. Opalina won by a length and a half. That's the horse that we mentioned with the 8 who ran 3/4 of a length behind Opalina. So if you're looking at comparative horses, the 8's actually ahead of the 1 in that sense. So not sure some people I know love to take that peek, but this even money price is tough to swallow here.
Yeah, that's kind of why a big reason I was hesitating with this chalk is everything kind of looked for me the rest of the way. I don't know. JD, what do you think here? What any prices on this board jumping out to you? Did we lose JD?
I think we lost his mic there. Might just be muted.
I muted myself. I apologize. Yeah, the StreamYard expert screwing up StreamYard. Go figure. Sensitivity will be ahead for some portion of this race. So if you want a thrill, I think Sensitivity might lead the first quarter mile.
Boy, we were really not sure what to do about this horse. And 11-1, I said you needed double digits to play this horse because literally going from maiden special weight debut into this spot, and not getting Lasix either. But Paco stays aboard, Mike. So there's some intrigue, and $265,000, not a small price tag.
No, not at all. I just the time for that race was absolutely brutal. So Sensitivity last time went wire to wire, going 23-2, but then went 49 for the first half, 114-3 for 6 furlongs. So extremely slow internal fractions there. Makes it a lot easier to be able to finish the race there, going 6s. So the end of the race is impressive, but that middle fraction is really set up extremely well. Again, like we said, 31-1 on that day. I would want closer to that opening day price than I would here. I think the 9 My Philly Twirl is going to be able to pressure Sensitivity. And then you're going to have a lot better horses running at her late. I agree with JD. She's probably your early pace setter. I just think it's going to be tough for her to try and take this good of a field gate to wire. For me, this race is one of those where if you like the one, you got to either find a double here. So someone in the next race you want to pair up with it, or you have to find an exotic that you want to play underneath it. I think the 1-6 or the 1-8 is an interesting exacta. Obviously, you guys like the 2. Explain why you're so high on the 2, because I'm not using the 2, like I said. Magic, you said the 2 was your first pick. JD, you like the 2 here in the pick 4. Are you liking the price right now, sitting on the board at 6-1? Is that a win bet for you guys?
It is for me, JD.
If I was able to legally, I would place a win bet on Gulfstream Park. Being an Arizona resident, I'm just going to throw that out there that I have to give that works one time for the show. I can talk about placing a win bet now for the rest of it now that I. But yeah, that's definitely a win bet price for me for the Ramses. Again, I think really the allowance effort going 7.5 was strong. The maiden was honestly not much to write home about, but back-to-back wins seems to be in a situation where the race could set up for her, and I do think Ortiz staying up is big in this spot as well.
And I love the trip. If you watch the replay of her last race, she was all over the place in the stretch on purpose because of there was just walls of horses that she was encountering, and she was outside, she was inside, she'd go outside, inside. It was crazy if you watch it. Mike, you brought up a good point that the horses she beat that race, not that solid going in and not that solid. I don't think I've raced since then, but they definitely were in a strong group. So she beat them like she was supposed to and like she was priced to beat them. But now second off the layoff. I love that, with the jockey situation here, with Safi, you really can't leave him off, especially a 6-1 if you think the horse has half a shot. And hey, look, Acacia Clement, which I realized today they updated her name. Acacia Clement agrees with us there, 1-6.
Nice.
9-2.
Beechnut Trophy also undefeated on turf. His first 2 starts run synthetic, wasn't able to get the job done, comes back, wins on turf with Reyes aboard. And Safi thinks this horse is good enough to make the call to one of the Ortiz brothers, picks up Jose for that race off the layoff. Safi generally better second off the layoff as well. So I can see the case you guys are making. It's just one of those where I think we need to improve 15%, somewhere in that range, to compete with a couple of others in here. So we'll see if the 2 is able to take that kind of step forward.
Are you saying Safi Joseph can't improve a horse 15% from race to race, Mike?
Oh, I never doubt Safi Joseph improving horses.
Look at White Barrios form. You tell me he can't improve a horse
That's
with
what I'm
80%
saying, man.
cranked. I mean, look at that. No, it's great. I'm so excited and nervous for that. If you guys, by the way, are watching us live, thanks so much for joining us. If you're watching the replay, I don't know why you are, because you know what happened. Unless you want to see just how wrong we are. We do have some of you that love to do that, and we love you for it because your views equal money for us. But we do want you to keep letting us know in the chat. What do you think about horses? Would you have any questions betting wise? This is a very interactive show, and we have a special guest here, JD Fox, who isn't exactly how Mike and I handicap, and that's a good thing. You're going to get another perspective here and maybe another chance for some of us to make some money here. But we're finally getting to the gate here. If the 2 wins, how many trainer bills does that pay for to other trainers for the Ramses? Who is it, like, does Maker or Rudy Rod have their hand out first for that person money right there?
They collect from Safi. I'm not sure. We've got, what is it? We got about 6 minutes to the 8th race as well over at Oaklawn. If we want to try and talk a little bit about that before we break from the gate here at Gulfstream. JD, I know you looked at Oaklawn as well. Magic, I believe you did too. Did you guys like anyone here in the 8th race over there?
Well, not PPs. How about you tell us who you like first, because I'm pulling up my past performances.
The 8th, I was on the number 9. AC Expressway here is the top pick. This is a horse coming out of the Norm Cassie barn. He's been absolutely on fire, 25% so far at Oaklawn. The last race I actually thought was pretty good. Lost a horse named Safi's Day and $100,000 allowance, but won a 6 furlong race right before that. There's a ton of pace in here. I think the 9's going to get a nice setup and be able to come right off it. Other horse I'm using in here is Drina's Star, the 5 horse, who's first off the claim for Diodoro, another one who steps horses forward pretty well. Got Cohen aboard as top jock. So those are the 2 that I was leaning on.
JD, what about you?
I like a Forever Bridesmaid, the 8 Breaking News, 7 second place performances. Last win, only win April 13th, 2019, but has run well so far this year at Oaklawn. 2 second place finishes, just lost by a neck last time out. At this condition, obviously increased purse for this big day. It was a $44,000 purse the last time this horse ran at this same condition, and it's $106,000 today. So don't let that fool you. It's the same condition for Cipriano Contreras. I like Breaking News just sitting off. I think Drina Star gets the lead, and I think Breaking News just sitting off. We'll get first run.
I like Drina Star. It's Diodoro with the speed horse first off the claim. We're off in the Sanibel Island.
And the 4 did not break well, which is going to kind of, now the 4 is rushing up, going to get the lead going in the first turn. It looks like 9 horse is going to sit right to the outside. My Philly Twirl and Sensitivity, 2 big numbers, going to be right there. Mischievous Kiss getting a nice bid here on the rail. Going to sit, looks like we rail on the 2 turns instead of really nice trip.
Well, and that break of the 4 where it was a little off. I mean, second career start. This goes right back to what we were saying. We were concerned about when it comes to the horse's inexperience. You see something like that, and you're like, yeah, that's kind of what I expected.
We were 24-4 for the opening quarter. So we'll see what they can do here. I mean, the 4 is going to slow it down pretty good here. The 1 horse, Mischievous Trip, really. If Mischievous Trip Kiss doesn't win from there with this trip that we're getting here, it's going to be a surprise to me. I mean, it's going to be tough to beat the favorite, I think.
You've got the race collar gear on here. Like, are these times any correct? That feels like that's a little bit.
Well, I think I heard what you said, but we're having some issues with Magic's mic here. I think he wanted me to give more of a race call for this one.
No, I said you had looked the most efficient with your race collar gear. Are these times right? It seems slow.
Yeah, I mean, there's been timing problems all meet at Gulfstream, so really we're going to have to wait for the end here. But the 4 is actually holding this pace, and we're not getting much from the 1 at this stage.
No, the 1 kind of backed up around the turn there. 9's going to get first run and make the lead. The 3 horse is trying to make some moves. The 2 is screaming for some room. We'll see if the 2 is going to be able to get to this 9 here right toward the wire. 3 at 99 to 1. Trying to get the nose down. No. My Philly Twirl gets the job done at 10 to 1. Oh.
Nice. I mean, not nice for us, but Mike, you had her. Did you end up using her in your Magic Mike ticket?
I think so. Yes.
I know you talked her up a lot on
Nope.
me.
Yes, we've got the 9. Yeah. That was just purely because it's the only other pace horse, right? So you're hoping that horse can sit exactly like he did right outside the 4, get first run, and no one gets to her. Then 3 horse, Big Temptations at 99 to 1, I think held on for second.
Oh, I thought the 2 got there.
Yeah,
Did
the 2
you?
got there for sure.
There's not much room between those noses.
That was an interesting.
Oh, yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, I think
I think the 3 got it. Oh,
2's ahead physically. I think the 3 got the better of the bob there.
that is a wild finish there, but it's definitely the 9 at 10 to 1 on the inside that was able to get the job done. Oh, that's one of those pace mixer races. I'm disappointed in Mischievous Kiss. I'm surprised, like inside with the tracking trip with almost no speed on. That's one of those situations you'd expect the 1 to be able to run a lot better than that second off.
And it was the late run we expected from the 2, Magic. It just wasn't good enough.
That looks like oof. I feel bad for the 3 and for people who bet the 3 because you just lost a nasty head bob at 100 plus to 1. Oh, for second. If you had that as like a 9-3, what was that exactly going to pay? 500, 600.
I still think the 3 got second. You think he got third?
Yeah, JD and I are on the 2 for second there.
All right, we'll see.
No,
we'll see.
I said that the 2 was physically ahead. The 3 got the better of the bob. I think the 3 actually got it. But.
So we'll have to wait for the photo here. We've got about 1 minute to race 8 over at Oaklawn. If anyone wants to fire over there,
race 8 at Oaklawn. I don't even have that ready to go, Mike.
Well, there's just a lot going on, man. This is the crazy part about it.
No,
Well,
I have them all
it also
lined
doesn't
up
help
here.
that Gulfstream ran 15 minutes past scheduled post time. But
They just posted the photo. The 3-horse, Big Temptations, gets the nut bob.
Oh, look at
So
that.
10 to 1 over 99 to 1 over 4 to 1 over 4 to 5. That's gonna be a nice little super.
Listen, I didn't have the 9 winning, so I don't care who got second. So yeah, might as well. There you go.
those
Honestly,
people that love to put the to key the an odds-on favorite in fourth in the super, there's a lot of people that do that. That's gonna pay you off some dividends right there.
if you played the 9 all exacta, you're pretty happy right now as well. That the back wheeling the horse you like, that would be an interesting spot to have that one. Honestly, Beechnut Trophy probably the best horse in this race. I bet when we go back and look at the traffic trouble that Beechnut Trophy had, because he didn't get loose until midway down the stretch, or I'm sorry, she didn't get loose until midway down the stretch. So I bet that you want Beechnut Trophy more than anyone else coming out of here. The 9 horse tripped out more than anything else. That's why the 9 was able to get the job done here. I think Beechnut Trophy is probably the one you want here. That's I would at least stable that horse up out of this effort.
Yeah, JD and I picked her on top. Thanks.
Okay. Well, just got to look at race shape next time, guys, and then maybe you can get to the 9 like I did.
Good effort from the 9 there. Really good effort. I didn't think the 9 was going to have a really solid shot without setting the pace. I think that was where I left the 9 off there. You said Oaklawn race 8 was about to go.
Yep, we're walking back toward the gate right now. Currently, your 2 favorites are the 5 and the 9 at 5 to 2. Unfortunately, those are my top 2 picks. And JD, you were on was it the 8 or the 7 that you liked here?
On the 8,
I'm 5 to 1.
Yeah, I'm probably going to place a win bet at those odds on that real quick.
I've got the 2 horse as my 3rd place horse here, Bandit Point. It's sitting at 10 to 1. I might be intrigued by that one. He's run a couple back efforts. It's good enough to get here. Although you don't love to see an Archie bred against a bunch of Kentucky breds. Usually that doesn't end up well for you if you bet it. $1,500 back for a $2 exacta. Thanks, Nick, for giving us the heads up there. Crazy price.
I said $600, and I was thinking for $1, and I was still off.
Yeah.
Wow. If you hit that, first of all, you should not be on this live stream. You should be out buying a lotto ticket because, good Lord, you're not going to get locked in on that. But that was awesome. If you bet that, I didn't bet it that way, but it was great. Bree brings up the Garhole is running today. That is correct. Unfortunately, we will not be live for that. I think by that point we will have all passed out because that'll be after the Fantasy Stakes is over with.
Yep,
I mean, Blame JD will be running today as well. I mean, why don't we just throw that out there?
We'll be back live for that
I
one.
didn't want to do that to you. I didn't want to do that to you, JD.
Yeah, that was a good one for me, Dan. We're happy to get the 10 to 1 home. Hopefully that's on the Magic Mike ticket that we gave out on the show and on the Somobomb. So hopefully we can keep this rolling alive in the pick 5 too. So hopefully we can get a couple more prices here. Cindy's got the 10.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up.
And the 10 actually making a nice move right now around the turn. They went 22 flat. And JD's 8 is going to hit the front here at 9 to 2. Speed's been holding pretty well today at Oaklawn.
Shut up, Vic.
But the 7's got the shorter way around here and might still have a nose advantage here coming down the stretch. Maybe set up for somebody to close. Looks like the 5 tripped out.
Yep, Diodoro off the claim, trying to make the move. 5. Your 8's looking pretty strong on this rail.
Yeah.
Hold on, 8.
Yeah, I think
There you
we're
go.
good.
You got
There
it.
we go. 9 to 2. Nice shot, JD.
Yeah, 9 to 2.
Good job. Over
And the
3 to
9,
2.
your 9 finishes the exacta, Mike.
And
There we
I
go.
had the 5. The 5 was my pick. We just gave out the Stone Cold Try, boys. Good job.
Something like that.
With the 9 to 2 on top. Great job.
I love the positivity.
The proclivity for positivity. That's what they say about me. I've never said that once, I don't think.
So my Philly Twirl returns $22.80, $9, and you get $80.80 to place on Big Temptations. Heck of a price on the place there.
I still don't believe I saw that happen. And it just, yeah, it was a great performance, and the horse will be half those odds next time and probably run up the track and lose by 15. But maybe it can be a push forward. I mean, young fillies, you never know. This could be a breakthrough performance for the 3 there, just losing. heartbreaker, probably by a neck when the chart comes out.
That's a pretty tough one to get to, though. I mean, Practical Joke going a mile and 16th, generally not a great thing. You want Practical Joke going one turn mile at the absolute most. Horses ran 3 times on the Tampa turf, had never won, came to Gulfstream, won over the synthetic on a race that rained off the turf. It was 15-1 there. It was actually 65-1 last time it ran it over the turf at Tampa. It takes a monster step forward to be able to get second there. It's a crazy effort. That's one where just absolutely throw it out next time you see it. I'm not touching that thing at any price, really.
I would agree. As we had another wonderful 5-horse stakes race just happen at Santa Anita. We're not covering that today, but there is other racing going on throughout this country. And I'm alive in the pick 6 at Aqueduct. So is I believe everybody else that played the ticket. It's been very chalky, but obviously Turfway is going to be the next to go here. And obviously with the post drag happening at Gulfstream Park, we'll see how things fit. We are 7 minutes away from the Kentucky Cup Classic Stakes, sponsored by Twin Spires. 4-year-olds and up going a mile and an eighth on the Tapeta. A couple scratches in this one. Invader, Tiberius Mercurius, and then the 2 AEs, Cullum Road and Sprinklehead, are going to be your scratches in this one at Turfway Park in 7 minutes, as we are rolling magicless here, Mike. Contest-wise today, give us an update on how you're doing.
We're about halfway through. No real prices until that 9, which I unfortunately didn't have, but not many people had the 9. So it's still pretty wide open if we can get some prices later. I felt like today was much more of a day where you could get to prices. There's actually only 5 people that had it in the NHC contest today. So not a lot of people using that 9 in that spot, which leaves the contest wide open, especially since we haven't seen a 20-1 shot, anything like a capper come in yet. Over at Turfway, I know you did play that Turfway race, or you played the Turfway pick 6. Who are you alive to here? Who are the horses that you were interested in?
Yep. So I'm alive, and I'm alive in the pick 6, and then wheeled back a pick 5 at Turfway. I'm alive to the 2, 3, and 12, which is Visitant, King Fury, and then the 12 Beatbox. They are the 3 betting choices right now, although the 10 Cross Border is also getting some play. I've got to pull up live odds here. Cross Border at 4-1. Beatbox, so I mentioned the 12 at 9-2. Visitant is the lukewarm favorite at 5-2, and King Fury is 3-1 for Kenny McPeak. Brian Hernandez up for King Fury, the son of Curlin. It's going to be an interesting race. I think one of the things that really could happen here is Visitant can get loose on the lead. Coming off of a 6-furlong stakes win at Turfway Park. Hasn't ran this distance, hasn't routed since last year, but won this same race last year, going a mile and an eighth, but didn't do it on the front end. Actually passed some horses with Deshaun Parker up, and Deshaun Parker is available here as well. As we look at Equine Edge, and 24% win chance for Visitant here and 28% win chance for Beatbox.
Yeah, when I was looking at this race, I ended up on just the 2 and the 12. And I actually would love to ask you. So, JD, you play Turfway more than I do. You understand the track a little bit more, especially with the Woodbine past of yours and the synthetic side of it. Visitant's a horse that's been sprinting, a lot of 6-furlong sprints, and including stretching out here to 2 turns, going a mile and 6 or an eighth. Is this a type of horse that you're confident in when you're looking at the stretch out that can kind of go gate to wire at a place like Turfway? I mean, you got to assume this horse is setting from that 2 post, well, essentially the 1 post because the 1 scratched. So do stretch out sprinters generally do well at Turfway?
They generally do well in general. And then I also look back to what this horse did last year as a lead up to this race. Won an allowance event going 6.5 to lead into the mile and an eighth. And then ended up actually carrying on and running in the Ali Sheba and the Stephen F. Foster, second in the Ali Sheba at Churchill, and then ran off the board, finishing 8th in the Stephen F. Foster, then got a break until December. 3 straight wins, all sprinting here, allowance, and then 2 stakes, February 12th, winning the 4-go and winning the Big Daddy Stakes on March 12th, and it always makes me laugh when I hear that. But 1-5 the last 2 starts for the Bill Morey charge. Deshaun Parker has ridden this horse to victory before. Obviously, Corrales not aboard, who has been aboard the last 2 victories. He's on cross border. But obviously lots of confidence in Deshaun Parker. And again, horse is one on the front end sprinting, generally comes slightly off the pace here, but there's not a lot of pace signed on.
No, there's really not. It was tough to find anyone else that I thought would really be close. The one Invader was a pretty key scratch from a pace perspective. Maybe the 4 Tiberius Mercurius can show a little speed, but has done that with like 49, 112 type halves, or 49, 112 type half and 6 furlong numbers. So I'm not sure that that he's going to be able to really stay with the 2 if the 2 just kind of runs in place. You mentioned the 10 cross border, who I think is a little bit interesting in this spot. It's first off a layoff here for Mike Maker. Last time we saw him was in the Pegasus Turf Invitational. Obviously a pretty good race there. Ran 5th to Colonel Liam, but did have success over the track two back at the mile and 16th distance, coming from about 3-4 lengths back. The 10's interesting to me. Generally, Makers fire pretty good off the layoff, 18%, and gets Corrales up, who, in my limited watching of this, seems to be the best jockey there.
Yeah, and so Corrales was on Visit 10th the last 3 sprint victories that we talked about, and now is on cross border for this one. Probably the leading jock in that jockey colony at Turfway Park. Does really well, obviously, on the synthetic. So I think cross border is interesting. I don't know if there's going to be enough challenge to Visitant to get cross border up. I do think Beatbox and King Fury should be closer today. I think they'll be closer than where cross border is. And I think cross border is just going to run out of time based on what we look at the pace scenario here. American Theorem could maybe stick with the 2 for just a little bit. Kind of did that for a quarter mile in the Santa Anita handicap before drifting back to lose by 24 lengths. With Mike Smith aboard last month for George Papadromo. Not a lot of synthetic pedigree here. American Pharaoh out of the Maria's Mon mare Mighty Renee, I think was on a trailer with another horse that's running, and that would be why American Pharaoh is here.
That happens. All right, so that's Turfway's 10th here, the Twin Spires Kentucky Cup Classic Stakes. We got about 4 minutes to bet that one if you want to get it in. We're about 11 minutes to post from Gulfstream, so we can flip over here to Gulfstream's 12th. And this is Kathleen O. This is one of the features on the board here. One of the ones that we like to throw up the O for. Got to say, love me some Kathleen O. Right now, my Kentucky Oaks pick. Anyone disagree? Magic?
Yep.
You agreeing or disagreeing?
No, I disagree.
Well, okay, who you like?
Adari Manor just got moved to someone who can run her in the Santa Anita Oaks and get points. That's been
she did?
She's been my Oaks horse. Yeah, she just got moved probably right before Baffert started hanging the signs off. It was, I think, yesterday she got moved. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, bingo, that's my pick, Adari Manor. JD, what about you? Who's your Oaks pick right now, buddy?
Kathleen O.
Okay. We're going to be boring. All right, fine.
Well, I'm going to be boring just because, she has not given us a reason yet. She has overcome so much to win. And
Yep.
It's true.
It's tough to say, okay, will this horse regress? No. This horse should hopefully be able to learn how to start out of the gate. And once you get that, I think she's, 3 or 4 lengths better than anybody else we see in the class right now.
This is one where if you have not watched all of Kathleen O's replays, I would highly recommend going back and checking them out. The first race out, both the second and third horses behind her end up winning next out. Her second race, she doesn't start very well, gets absolutely shut off, has to come from off the pace, ends up winning by 8. Her third start, she doesn't actually get a good running lane either. She has to wait till the top of the lane. Castellano got her in trouble in the 6-horse field. It was a master class in how to not ride a horse in a short field when you're absolutely the best. Gets a split at the top of the lane finally and is able to win opening up again. Only challenge here, we haven't seen Kathleen O go 2 turns. We'll do that for the first time today here.
Yeah, well, you guys kind of nailed why I would be. The one concern I have about her is that she kind of she's had troubles. And Castellano kind of gets her in those troubles sometimes. And Shug McGahee's a nice guy. He's not going to fire Castellano. He's a Hall of Fame jockey. So Listen, how about can we talk about the? Oh yeah, you got it pulled up here. I thought it was still Turfway for some reason. A horse that I almost said instead of let's not pass a bullet here. The 3 Amani's Image to me is it could be a complete shocker here at 25-1. The 3 horse. She's with Fausto Gutierrez, who has the Trusca. He's got Jose Ortiz riding for the second start after she was going 7 furlongs in the slot. But if you look at how she's bred, routing is what she wants to do. Do either of you have any, like, if Kathleen O doesn't fire, is this a logical horse that could possibly just blow things up?
So let's do this. Let's just play the game where Kathleen O is not in the race. So let's say she doesn't show up at all, right? Or let's play the exacta game because no one really wants to bet Kathleen O at 1-5. So right. It's who do we think could run second here? And if Kathleen O doesn't show up, who does she win, right? And that's where you're trying to make the case for the 3 Amani's Image. This one is tough. I mean, Amani's Image is really well bred. So that's definitely a positive. Should improve two turns. Second time out, chased a pretty fast pace. Was relatively close to it last time. I guess you could make a case there. I really wish Katish was in this race. I think she would be the one I'd want to make the case for the most.
Right.
I mean, I think you can. The one horse cancel this is going to be pretty trouble, or it's going to be pretty tough to get to. We need to take a big time step forward for Dale Romans. The 4, I guess, would be the one that lost last time out against Beechnut Trophy. That was over the turf. It's a gun runner horse out of an AP Indy mare. You could make a case that the 4 is bred pretty well to run here.
4 is a gigantic question mark, right, JD?
Yeah, the 4 we don't really know. Obviously, he's run synthetic and turf, has not run on the dirt, and obviously pedigree-wise should be able to handle all surfaces. Has AP Indy there. 2 turns shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, big question mark. I mean, I was trying to look real quickly at Amani's Image because I remembered that Rapturius ran somewhere and did not win, who she lost to last time, and it was in a Florida-bred stakes at Tampa Bay Downs last week. So not good form coming in to compare Amani's Image to. So I think Amani's Image is a toss, unfortunately. Even in an exacta play, I just don't see it.
Do we think this is going to chalk out badly with Goddess of Fire? I mean, is this just 7-5 and move along? Magic
and
Community.
Throw your 6 on there. 7-5-6, Colt.
I just don't know that I don't like Goddess of Fire. I think that, by the way, she wins a race or gets second in a race where she had no business being anywhere close to the winner because the winner was Lecrate, who got pulled up. So beyond that, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'm downplaying her too much, and it's Todd Pletcher here. She is a half to mind control. So dirt, even though she has only 1 win on dirt, she does have the class there, and she has faced all stakes companies since winning on debut. So I don't know, Mike. Am I too hard on Goddess of Fire? I just don't really like her.
I don't think you are. I'm with you. I'm going to try and throw the 5 out of everything and see if that's how I can create value here. I think Kathleen O is just such a logical horse to use on top. It's tough to be able to beat her. I think that you look at like Blustery, who has a chance to hold on for some minor awards, which is what I'm hoping for here. And then someone like Running Legacy, where maybe I'll just play 7 over 6-4 over 6-4 and see if we can get something home in the try with that level. The thing with Goddess of Fire to me is that when you go back and you look at who she has faced, like you mentioned the race at Fairgrounds of Rachel Alexandra. That's one where Lecrate gets pulled up and Hidden Connection gets an awful trip because of what happened there, having to run from the 11 post and wheel wide down the stretch. They're all just sucking wind. I mean, it was not a very good race in that sense to me. You already saw we're going to see Turner Loose come back at Oaklawn. I'm not going to be on that horse at all. And then you go back to the race prior to that, and Out Fox just has not run that well back either. So the horses the horses that have beaten Goddess of Fire in the last 2 haven't been very good. And, when you take a look at it that way, yeah, you got to take a shot at either Goddess of Fire or Kathleen O to create any value here in the Gulfstream Park Oaks. And so for my money, I think Kathleen O is the best filly in the country, 3-year-old filly in the country. I'm not going to take a shot against her. So I'm going to take a shot against Goddess of Fire. You got a lone leader in Blustery. You've got Running Legacy, who I think is probably the other good horse. Cancel this. I'm not going to use it all. Armani's Image, because of what JD said, I just can't get behind that horse either. And that leaves me with the 4 and the 6 here to hopefully fill out the try.
JD, do you like to play doubles, or is this something we could look at to see what Kathleen knows paying into next race? You're muted again, buddy. But it's nice that I'm not the only one that does that.
Yeah, usually I'm the mute culprit.
Yeah, we can do that. I've just had my soul crushed at both Turfway and Aqueducts. So
oh no, what happened?
Some positivity. Oh well, I had the top 2 betting choices in a 4-horse field at Aqueduct alive in leg 5 of the pick 6 and got nosed. And then we talked a little bit about the 10th at Turfway, Mike, and King Cause wired the field at 20-1.
I don't even know how you figured that horse going. I mean, King Cause didn't make the lead going a mile or even close to it. I guess 1.5 miles back against a bonded 2-back. No, I'm not getting to that horse. It is a maker horse. I guess that's the only way you could possibly get there. So if you're looking at the doubles, let's see here what we can get from a 7 perspective. So the 7-7 double is paying $3 right now. Obviously, that's not anything that we want a part of. Let's see here. So look, the 7-1 next time out to Noble Indy is paying 30. The 7-9 to English B is paying $6. I think both of those are pretty good ways to go. The exactas with the 7 might be a little more interesting. I mean, look, the 7-5 is paying $2 right now. If you can get around the 7-5 here, any of the exactas are good payouts. The 7-6 is paying 27-1. I mean, so if you're kind of in my camp where Blustery is able to get out to the lead, and Kathleen O is the one that's running at Blustery, if she doesn't back up that badly, she could easily hold on for second. And you're getting 27-1 on the 7-6 exacta right now.
I mean, I've heard a lot worse arguments than that. I was just thinking about that. You're going to have the horse that's gasping for air, but is ahead of everybody else when they start doing it. And yeah, I don't know. This is, let's see. Here's what does Cindy got? Have 4, 6, 7 into the 8, playing the hot jock in race 13. Cindy brought that up. Was there a jock change in race 13? Cindy brought this up before. Who's the hot jock in race 13?
It'd be
Gaffleon. He's been having a day. I think he's won 3 races today.
Oh, there it is. I completely misread what she was. Yes, the 8 Carpenter's Call, who was coming over from Tampa. The horse is 3 for 3 on the Tampa turf. But yeah, big class test here at Gulfstream Park. Hey, listen, Cindy, if you get this home, if you get 6, if you get 4 or 6 home and then the 8, I think Cindy's going to buy racing, dudes. I think Cindy will be able to afford that and also buy new equipment for who is it? South Dakota State? North Dakota State. Who's the team that she likes? Shit, I can't remember. Sorry, Cindy.
I think it's South Dakota State. Or no, North Dakota State. I think it's North Dakota State. We're sticking with that.
North Dakota State.
And that race is that the 8 is one of 6 horses with 100+ time form early pace rating. So it will be really interesting to see how that pace setup is next race. That's going to determine a lot of how that race is going to go. And the 8 is going to be one of those that's going to be involved. Gaffleon has been doing a wonderful job up front, though. I mean, he's been sending horses all day today at Gulfstream and had success with a couple of them because of it.
Yeah, so Noble Indy 111, Wolfie's Dyna Ghost 118, Grace Fable 106, Phantom Courtesy 106, Carpenter's Call 103. That's pretty spicy, Mike.
Yeah, that they're not messing around in that race. And it's interesting because you have these different metrics that look at it. And that's the time form numbers. And then if I go here and I go to the Equinedge pace numbers, they don't see it as quite as hot of a pace. They think Wolfie's is going to get a decently, not easy lead, but we'll be out there and not spicing it up. 90. So when you see like 85+ on the Equinedge side, that's with like their 100+ on the time form side. So they don't have anyone that is as crazy fast, which was interesting to me when I was looking at this because I compare those two numbers quite a bit from a pace perspective.
Yeah, I thought Wolfie's numbers were a little high. I mean, for what they were, if you saw him sprinting, you wouldn't. Maybe that's the routing. That's what it is. But can I just bring this up, Dan? This is the funniest thing I've read in a while. He says if Cindy cashes 4-6 into the 8, she can buy a commemorative syringe from Baffert's. Everything Must Go stable liquidation at Santa Anita, happening starting on Monday, April 4th. That's when that kicks in. So.
God, I wish there was a stable sale. Like at the end of the hockey season, if you're a very big fan of hockey, they always have a equipment sale. So you can go buy game used sticks, game used helmets, game used jerseys, things like that from the arena at the end of it. It would be amazing if they had like a stable sale here. But obviously he'll be back in 90 days. They'll all need all that stuff again. But it is amazing that he actually is they're following through in California. It's pretty shocking.
Well, I mean, Kentucky made it easy for him, so that's where we go. JD, I'm the only one drinking beer on screen. What's happening, buddy? Where's your beer? Oh, there you go. What are you drinking? I've got little baby Miller High Lifes.
I've got a Huss Brewing Scottsdale Blonde.
Very nice. Mike, where's your?
I got a big water bottle.
Oh, okay. Sorry, did you go out with Jared and Kelby last night? Is that what's going on?
No, I'm not completely recovered from Monday night still. Being 38 catches up to you, man. Like you drink too much one night and you get a little sick and you got to kind of fight for a whole week to get it back.
Jeez.
I've got a month of that 38 life left, so I'm gonna
drink it up then, man. Drink it up.
JD, I was literally about to say you and I still got a few years before we're getting there. So
no, there's a lot of gray and silver
hiding in there.
Fox-isms happening here.
I love that Gulfstream Park just went from 1 minute to post to 3 minutes to post on their feed. They just added a couple of minutes because they're still sitting in the paddock.
So now what we're going to have is we're 13 minutes away from the Bourbonette. We're 14 minutes away from the Oaklawn Mile, and we're probably 13 to 14 minutes away at Gulfstream Park.
So where should we flip? Well, let's let them walk out on the track, get going here. Gulfstream Park, 3 minutes to post. Kathleen, I think all three of our top picks. I'm trying to spice it up with the 6 and the 4 here to try and add a little spice. Should we head over to Oaklawn Park and talk a little bit about their stakes race that they have coming up here in 14 minutes?
Speaking of Oaklawn, how many White Claws has Aaron polished off so far? Tell you what, Jason, I will text him right now. I haven't heard from him in a bit. Yeah, let's go over to Oaklawn, though. That's a good transition.
So we've got the Oaklawn Mile here, $400,000 stakes race coming up. Current favorite, the 4-horse Bob Baffert. We just can't get away from him, man. Shazine here, shipping in from California. JD, we talked about this race a little bit before we came on, and you were making a comment about kind of what you thought of Shazine. You were in the winner's circle last time. Nice little name drop or life moment drop there. You want to tell us what you thought about Shazine?
I mean, this is a sprinter. And really, when we were looking at it, obviously tried the mile and a 16th in the shared belief, but really, has come back and 6.5 in the Kona Gold, 7 furlongs in San Carlos. I mean, this is a very leggy sprinting type animal. So I think really this is going to be the end of his rope. I think a 1-turn mile is about as far as you can expect him to go. They're obviously still trying to find spots and trying to find where they can recoup some of the $3.7 million purchase price at the Fasig-Tipton sale. And this is an interesting spot here and an interesting setup in terms of the pace perspective. Law Professor looks like maybe the speed, but drawn all the way to the outside. Some questions there. You got like a horse like Running Ray on the rail that's been running an allowance company and been taking him wire to wire at Oaklawn. Obviously, from what we can see with Equine Edge, obviously an advantage there to Running Ray versus, obviously Timeform really likes Law Professor here. So you got kind of a nice dichotomy of opinions like you like to see. I mean, myself and Mike, we pretty much handicap the same way. We look at multiple sources. We get a lot of information, and I think that's a smart way to play, whether you are a day-to-day player or somebody that just picks it up as a weekend warrior.
Yeah, I mean, I make my own pace numbers, and then I have two different. I use Equine Edge and I use Timeform for pace numbers, and so the combination of the three is kind of how I come up with the pace. And I think it's important to find different ways or different factors to factor in, and then kind of take what you believe is correct and kind of figure it out from there. I actually thought Roadster on my own numbers was going to be the pace here, the 5-horse. Ironically, also previously out of the Bob Baffert barn. But I think the 5 and the 10 are the two that's going to hook up. I actually agree with Timeform more than Equine Edge in this spot. We'll see what actually ends up happening on the track here. I thought Shazine's the most likely winner, but I did not single her in this spot. I did use the 8 Folsom. Showed no pace, obviously, sitting here in the back of the pack, but I believe is going to get a setup. I think we're going to see pretty good figures here up front for this mile pace. I think Shazine is probably going to sit right off the 10. I'm sorry, right off the 5 and the 10, and you're going to see Folsom hopefully rolling from the back. So it's 7-1. I kind of like Folsom in this spot.
What about the rail horse?
Running Ray. What about him, Matt?
16-1 speed horse. He's going to go. By the way, won the last 2 races going this exact trip at Oaklawn Park. So this is going to be, it is definitely a step up, but those were both allowance fields and good allowance fields that he was beating, including Caddo River, who we make fun of, but Caddo River did win out of that race that last time out. So I think Running Ray is if you want a long shot. I think 16-1 if you want to pair up with box up with Cezanne and Folsom. I think those are two good ones to use as well. I think a mile too short for Law Professor. I think he needs a lot more because remember at Oaklawn when you're going a mile, it stops at the 16th pole, so you need speed. So that's why I think a horse like the One has an outside shot. If he squeaks away early, that horse could be gone. He could turn off the corner like with a length or two on Cezanne, and that animal, $3.7 million, doesn't buy you enough heart sometimes.
What about the Diodora horse market analysis here? I think really could be right outside the lead, whether it's Roadster, whether it's Law Professor, whether it's Running Ray. Could sit and get first run and has been impressive so far at the Oaklawn meet.
I don't think market analysis is out of the question. I've been going a little bit longer, so cutting back should help. Should be a little bit further off the pace. Has been within a length of the lead the last 3 starts, or on it, even 3 back. So I think the cutback will give market analysis a little better stalking trip, which the more you look at this, the more speed seems to be signed up here. I think it's going to be pretty hot up front, and you're going to see some horses coming from the back. It's one of the reasons I like Folsom in this spot. But market analysis is going to sit a nice trip, and you've not been able to close from deep in Oaklawn today. Today, you wanted to be close to the lead, and that's going to favor Running Ray. It's going to favor Law Professor. Should favor Roadster, Shazine's, and market analysis. So those 5 horses should be in a pretty good spot, assuming they don't go too fast up front.
And then you got Mike in the chat. Says Cezanne for him. Total junk chalk here. Distance too long. Field too big. Horses that he's facing too classy. Thinks he doesn't hit the board. Guys, is there what's the chances? Let me put it this way. What are the chances Cezanne is completely off the board here, Mike?
30%, maybe 35, somewhere in that range. I think it's pretty tough because the problem is I think everyone here is cheap speed, right? So the 1, the 5, and the 10 to me, the 10 is the one who I believe is the best. I think the other 2 are coming back. And if they both come back and the 10 comes back as well, all of a sudden it's pretty tough for the 4 not to hit the board. And that's one of the main reasons I think the 4 is probably going to get some piece of this. Let's flip over to Gulfstream real quick here. We're walking into the gate for the Gulfstream Park Oaks. We're about to see Kathleen O, who I believe is the best 3-year-old filly about to go here. Did you guys bet anything here? Obviously, JD in Arizona cannot, but if he did, would you have bet anything here?
I would have bet a 7-5 double.
7-5 double, Magic?
No, this is a sit on my hands. I wouldn't do anything. If you want to do a double, I like the 7-9 into English B next at.
I played a try. 7 with 4-6 with 4-6. So I'm going to see if we can get 2 bombs underneath and get the 5 to run out.
I mean, 1-2 on Kathleen O, knowing that the 2 is out of here. Is that a playable win bet, or what were the odds that you would want to see on her in this field?
5 probably.
Yeah, 1-2 is a little too short for me in any horse race. There's just so few situations where I'm willing to say that the horse is going to win 75% of the time. I think it's awfully tough for me just because they're animals. You just never know, especially the horse that struggled breaking and is going to come from off the pace.
Good break for Kathleen O. That's the best she's ever broken. She's still going to trail, but that is by far the best she's ever broken. There's
actually quite a bit of pace on here. Kathleen O 4 wide into the first turn, though, and the one horse, Cancel This, is going to end up getting the lead, and we're going to have Amani's Image sitting second, and Bluster, who I thought was going to be on the lead, is going to be sitting third here, and your 2 favorites are last and second to last.
That's where you want them.
Yeah, this is where we expected them, but it always makes me nervous.
2 turns. Let's put her in last, Kathleen O. Okay.
Yeah, Kathleen O, not even on the screen, so we assume she's running.
Yeah,
her chicklet's still there.
There's a nose. I see a nose.
Hey, there she is. All right, pop it in there. Fractions wise, I mean, Cancel This, extremely comfortable fractions. And Mike, this is what you thought Blustery was going to get. She's sitting 3 wide, Blustery is, so just not setting the pay. This is such an oddly run race. Kathleen O looks like she's in the parking lot on the backstretch there.
Yeah, I mean, 4 wide first turn. She's going to be 3 or 4 wide second turn. She is being handled like a horse that they believe is absolutely 100% the best horse. 3 with a little bit of trouble there. And Kathleen O is absolutely flying.
Yes, she is.
She's making these horses look like they're standing still.
How
5
much
idled
does she
when
want
she
to win
shouldn't
by?
I'll give her 2.5.
Let's see here. She's still not. Ooh. I mean, they're asking Goddess of Fire. They haven't really asked Kathleen O yet. These are clearly your top 2 horses in this spot.
Right.
And now it's going to be whether or not.
Confident ride from Castellano.
Yeah. I mean, Castellano's still not asked. Now he hits her once. I think he's going to hand ride her home by 8.
Come on, girl, fight. There you go.
He's not going to hit her down the lane. She's going to win by let's say
gonna save her.
5. Yeah.
Damn, I said 2.5. I guess it's the over on that.
Wow, that might be 2.5. Yeah, that might be 2.5.
We're gonna have to close enough. We're gonna have to check the chart.
Looking at the fractions as they're on the screen there, pretty honest pace, and she was able to still go into it. So that's a good sign. I mean, honest, it was a little slow. The pace was cheap speed, but I mean, still, like you have to be a good enough horse in this situation. Mike, trying 2 turns for the first time, Kathleen O, I think she passes the test, right?
I mean, yeah, she got hit once the entire race. She was 4 to 5. I would love to see the ground lost because there's going to be a big plus like 70 next to Kathleen O's number there because she was 4 wide on the first turn. She made a move 3 wide into the second turn and then ended up 2 wide going around the 5 horse. Got us a fire there in the second turn. Got asked maybe once top of the stretch. And everything else was just a show her the stick and hand rider. And she was able to open up on Got Us a Fire. I would have loved to see her win by more, but you know what? I'm not really going to complain about that performance because, like I said, she lost a ton of ground. She did everything you wanted her to, and she won by open legs. Like, you can't really ask much more of a horse.
JD, what were your initial impressions? I know you were a big fan of Kathleen O too.
Yeah, I mean, that's everything you want to see. The start, being able to settle, the 2 turns, passing the test, not really finding the bottom of the horse, kind of cruising speed down the stretch. Asked her once, she went. That's everything you want to see. I think we saw a bit of closer to the bottom of Goddess of Fire. Obviously, Saya's led up at the end, but obviously, Goddess of Fire worked hard to lose by 2.5 lengths, and Kathleen O, that was a glorified workout.
I want to give a couple of shout outs here in the chat. Everybody who's watching this live here at youtube.com/racingdudes. Dan Mason, she was 10 lengths better in reality. Yeah, that was one of those ones that we talk about. John White taught us this, that whatever the buyer figure comes out as, if it's not where you're like, yeah, that's a good number, put a plus next to it because definitely she ran much better here. Dr. Tang in the chat saying dominant Kathleen O. Let's go back here to Bree. Where's Bree? Called it way back here. 754 cold try. Kathleen O over Goddess of Fire over Running Legacy. Bree, that is a stone cold try. Congrats on that one. We'll see what that pays out here. Gentlemen, coming into this race, Kathleen O was both of your Kentucky Oaks picks. Mike, I don't think she did anything to deter you from that in this race.
Throw it up, baby. She's going. Look, this horse has done absolutely nothing wrong, and it never has gotten a great trip. And she's overcome it every single time. Like that wasn't a good trip. That was you were much the best horse. We were not letting you get in a speck of trouble trip that Castellano just gave her. So I still don't think we've seen anywhere near the bottom of Kathleen O.
JD, still your Kentucky Oaks pick now?
Yeah, not a problem. Closing into fractions that were pretty soft given what we expected. I mean, that was a home run.
That was a very, very impressive effort there. And Manu in the chat says, paid 30 cents for a try, going 7 over 5 over 1 4 over 1 3. Hey, you cashed it. Boy, he was really hoping the 1 was going to hit the board there. I'm glad you used the 4 and the 3 as well, Manu. Says he expects to rake in at least 250 for the super. Yeah, I would say I'm going to take the over on that, Mike, right?
Yeah, he should be able to get over $2.50 for that. I mean, you're probably staring back at, I'm going to go with for 30 cents. I bet you get back $14.80.
Wow. Okay. What about you, JD? What do you think?
$12.
We're both in double digits though, so that's so bad.
Listen, you have enough to go to McDonald's and get like value meals for the whole family with what you're going to make off of this one there. So and Nick says 320 try for 50 cents. So listen, if you played that straight for $5, you got $32 off of that. That's over almost 6.5 times ROI. That's pretty damn solid right there. So Dave says you can get a McFlurry as well. Out here, they don't actually, our McDonald's doesn't have them right now. It's pretty annoying, but listen, as Tom says, the Magic Mike Show pick 4 looking good so far. Preston live in the pick 5 too. So as we get out of here, gentlemen, final thoughts. Kathleen O going to the Kentucky Oaks as the favorite. Yes or no?
Yes.
As it stands right now, I guess, assuming Secret Oath goes to the boys and all that. JD, what do you say?
That's an easy yes.
Easy yes.
Stop asking dumb questions, Magic.
Hey, listen, If I didn't ask at least one dumb question per show, it wouldn't be me trying to host. Thank you so much for watching this. Head over to racingnews.com. Go check out the free picks for every race, every track around the country. The live stream is continuing, but if you're watching the replay, we really appreciate it. Leave a comment below with what you thought about it, and we'll see you at the track. Damn, that's my son literally about breaks open the door right there. That was good timing. Man. All right. So how do we status report, Mike? Where do we need to go next?
0 minutes to Oaklawn. We talked about that race already. JD, you're our Turfway Park guy. We've got 1 minute to the next stakes race at Turfway. You want to give us a quick pick here before we go over to Oaklawn?
Yes. My play of the day is in this race at Turfway in the Bourbonnette Oaks. It's the 7 Mrs. Barbara. Okay, I'm a Woodbine homer. I'm sorry, but this is a synthetic racetrack, so it works well. This horse, Mezzarine, looked amazing, and had a really strong showing in the Natalma Grade 1 on the turf. Florida Oaks ran better than I think the connections expected. They didn't have her totally ramped up, so expect better performances today from Mrs. Barbara. Sitting off the pace, should be hot with Sandstone. The favorite probably being the pace setter in this one, but also Champagne Poetry, Katish, who we've talked about, where we thought she would have been better in another spot, winds up at Turfway here, and will probably be part of the pace as well for Jonathan Thomas with Kazushi Kimura up.
After what we just saw from Kathleen O, maybe I take back what I said about that being the wrong decision to leave that race behind, because you saw what happened with the speed too. Is nobody was anywhere close. And sorry, Katish, you weren't going to be that good, I don't think.
It was probably 7.52 if Katish stays in Florida. I'm guessing that she was finishing third behind those two. But I thought Goddess of Fire, who I was not a big fan of, actually ran really well there. So I thought she ran big as well. We are about to walk into the gate at Oaklawn. At least they're walking up to it. Miss Barbara, Magic, this was your pick too, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was my pick. The free pick over at racingdudes.com on the YouTube channel. This was the pick too. Yep.
I do like Mrs. Barbara as well. I use Katish too, so I was 7-11 here myself. So we're all on the Miss Barbara train here. If anyone wants to play the 7,
I mean, I like that she's getting some money, but not to where she's unplayable, right? She was 5-1. She's bet down right now. I got 4-1 on Equibase, 9-2 here on the screen. So I like that she's taking a little bit of money, but we're not getting her bet down. Like, Sandstone is still unplayable like I thought she would be. She's 2-1 right now. I don't want her anywhere here. JD, you're like Mike said, you're the synthetic guy. Sandstone, yes or no at all?
I think Sandstone finishes second. I think she sets the pace and Mrs. Barbara passes her down the stretch.
And we are about to kick off the pick 5 here from Oaklawn. So I'll pull that up and we'll see what Shazine does and who sets the pace. Magic's 1 jumps right out of the gate. But it is a aggressive move here. Shazine even up in the early pace. There goes Roadster, and far outside the 10 horses out there as well, Law Professor. So we've got a hot pace up front here. 3 market
and
analysis.
Folsom exactly where we thought Folsom was going to be at the tail of the field, and we'll see if that's this pace is going to provide Folsom a chance to pass everybody late.
I think there was someone who had a lot of trouble there mid-pack. I think that was market analysis, wasn't it? Oh, no, I'm
market
sorry.
Analysis is in the lead, so I think it was
Law Professor.
I don't know who it was. Yeah, it had to have been
Law Professor had some trouble there.
It's fine. He didn't have a shot anyway, right? At least we didn't think so.
Not from there. I mean, I used Law Professor in my pick 5, but did not expect him to be sitting mid-pack at this spot. I thought he would be up there. I'm actually surprised the 3 is on the lead. We're going to see what Shazine's got. I like Folsom from this spot, though. If he can find a way through, they are cruising. I mean, 45-4 here for an opening half.
And your 1's right there, Magic. Going to tip up here and be in between Saison and market analysis.
Folsom.
Yeah.
Vroom, vroom, vroom.
The 9's got some run as well, but I mean, the 8 is just circling the field. We'll see if he can sustain this run. Shazine hits the lead top of the stretch. The 8 moving like a freight train on the outside. And 8-1 is going to look like a gift here on Folsom, I believe. Oh, Shazine digging in. Come on, get by. There we go. All right.
Yeah, Folsom's by.
Woo, came back a little bit. But we're going 8-4 there. So Shazine goes down. I actually thought Shazine ran a heck of a race there, considering the early fractions and everyone else backing up.
I ended up tossing Shazine at the end here in my pick 5. I repunched the ticket, so I had Folsom regardless, but I'm alive with a little more cover because I threw the 4 off the ticket. So we'll see how that goes.
What's your short leg, out of curiosity? Since if anyone wants to bet back to pick 4 here, we've got the pick 4 left.
So my short leg is the final leg. Actually, I am singling in the last at Oaklawn in the optional allowance, claiming 2 straight years. This has absolutely screwed me, where I've gotten literally nosed out at the wire in this pick 5 both times. But I've got Bellamy's Roan, the 7, singled in the last leg, coming off of the win last time on a wet fast track at Oaklawn.
I went short in this leg as well. My key horse was the 9 Mahoney, who's second off the layoff here for Velasquez. So there's interesting options here in the last race there. I guess we could probably give out our pick 4 tickets right before the last one. Hopefully some people put some money in there on Folsom. Tom O'Connor hit that try. Excellent, man. That's going to pay decent there with an 8-1 shot up top.
Who got third in that? There we go. Who got third in that spot?
I don't know. I didn't see. Did you catch it?
No, I didn't.
Tom hit the try. I just don't know who got third. That's all. They're starting to enter the gate over at Turfway in the Bourbonette if we want to go there.
All right, we'll head over to Turfway here. This is fast and furious action coming now. It's kind of crazy.
It's actually kind of nice in retrospect that Gulfstream has run behind a little bit. They did their classic Gulfstream poster. Run and Ray got it. Damn it. I actually had a try that was I played it. I boxed it, and then I thought it was going to be a little too chalky to do that, so I backed off on that. Run and Ray the 1 got the job done. All right, Bourbonette Oaks. Let's see. JD is on the 7, Mrs. Barbara. I'm on the 7, Mrs. Barbara. Mike, who were you on?
I was 7-11 in my defunct pick 5 or pick 6 tickets. So those are the 2 that I'm hoping for here. I think that the 12 Vergara is interesting as well at a big price, 13-1 for Grand Motion. But those are the ones that the 7 and 11 were the 2 that I keyed on.
What about you, JD? If not the 7.
I would go with the 10 North County for Brennan Walsh.
Man, Brennan Walsh has been crushing at Gulfstream. I mean, he's been especially second off the layoff. He's been absolutely having a wonderful meetup down there. That's South.
I'm going to say that my long shot is still the 3 Tap Dancing Lady. She might not do better than the 3rd, but man, I liked her in the Cincinnati Trophy, and she didn't have any pace to chase, and I think she's going to get it a little bit better set up here. So watch out for the 3, 15-1 right now. Here we go. We're off in the Bourbonette Oaks.
Here we go.
Break for everybody. 2 looks like she wants to lead a little bit. 7 going, 12. The 7, Mrs. Barbara, JD, that was our pick here. Do you like to see her that close? It's not something that she usually does. At least she didn't do it at Woodbine.
No, we don't. We do not want to see this, and hopefully can settle down here. Actually, ended up not in too bad of a spot behind the 2 and the 5, leading that second pack, but they're going quick up top. I do not like it. It looks like actually that they're asking the 7 for a little bit more. Rafael Hernandez, the normal rider at Woodbine, is there at Turfway, and now stuck behind the horses. This is a tough spot for the 7.
Yeah, you were mentioning that this is a pretty fast pace too. 23-4 for the opening quarter. Anything under 24 seconds is quick for Turfway, isn't it?
It's very quick for Turfway. So obviously the 2 got some play. Was 12-1 on the morning line, 9-2 in race here.
Still
the favorite
quick,
is
though,
nowhere.
Pressured.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Right,
Katish start making a 4-wide move there. Let's see if Miss Barbara actually looking good.
Come on, Barbara. Come on, girl.
So we've got Katish and Miss Barbara going 3-wide and 4-wide. The 10 horse starting to make some move. Who's circling? The 4 horse.
4.
Absolutely circling here.
Candy
Raid.
At 52-1 for Kent DeSormo.
Yeah, Kent DeSormo. Yeah, Keith DeSormo.
Keith DeSormo, yeah. Circling the field here and looks to have hit the front and opening up. Turfway, gonna Turfway.
This is crazy. Rafael Bejarano's won how many track titles at Turfway, and he just he obliterated that field right there.
That might be the most open lengths I've seen a 50+ 1 shot, 50+ to 1 shot win in a 12 horse field. That is freaking wild.
I mean, start number 10, 3rd time even hitting the board, and it's a win. First time on synthetic, first time winning at 2 turns. Yeah, no, this all made logical sense, right, JD?
It made sense. The horse was 50-1.
52-1. Thank you for being specific, Twin Spires.
So the 3 might have gotten up over Katish for second. So we could be looking at 50-1 over 16-1.
Oh.
50-1.
I don't know. That's close. Let's slow down.
I said we might be looking at it.
I mean, still, Katish is 9-1. It's not like that's the favorite. And look at that. The 4 broke straight into the 3. and still won by open lengths. How do you? Wow. What?
So
what do
Magic,
we make of this?
real quick question for you. Candy Raid,
Yes.
favorite in the Kentucky Oaks?
Man, off of what we've seen.
No, I want that Sunland Derby or the Sunland Oaks horse, Mike. The other impossible 76-1 shot that broke the maiden and the maiden claimer at Remington. Can't remember the horse's name, but can tell you so much about them. I want that horse in the Oaks. Cleopatra's Charge. Okay, I remembered it.
I'm telling you, Turfway Park to me is one of the toughest places to handicap. Like it just feels like throwing darts for me there sometimes. I play it maybe twice a year, and it's one of those tracks I can't hit.
Do we want any of these horses? This is unsynthetic, and it's crazy that this is a Kentucky Oaks prep race, but the winner's got 50 points, so she's going, and it's Keith DeSormo, so you can damn well be sure she's going to go. But do we want any of these horses doing anything out of this race other than running back here at Turfway again?
I mean, I'm a hard no. Like, I think Katish actually ran now I'm going to make a case for why Katish ran a really good race. We thought Katish would be forwardly placed, or at least I did. She was 5 wide on the first turn, rushed up the backstretch into fast fractions, and was fighting for the place spot. I actually think her race is pretty good here. So Katish is the only horse out of this race I have any interest in betting forward. So I would keep an eye on her at least, but I'm not sure that she's necessarily going to get the job done for me.
Damn it, one of these times my 3 is going to win a stakes race at Turfway. I'm going to keep harping on her. I don't want her outside of Turfway. But, man, yeah, I want to see the 3 get the job done at Turfway. JD, what do you think, buddy?
Yeah, no.
They're
all Kentucky breds that might win some listed stakes at Turfway and move on. And, hey, maybe they'll be good horses at Presque Isle. I don't know.
Hey, congratulations to Keith DeSormo. It's always fun because the guy loves to run horses. Like I said, this is the horse 10th start already, so not something you see often from many trainers, but Keith loves to run them, so it's nice to see that he gets rewarded here. That will be his reward because I don't think the Kentucky Oaks is going to do anything for this horse whatsoever. But, hey, what do you think? Let us know down below in the chat. What do you think about this race? Is anybody from here worth following away from Turfway Park or off synthetic? Hit like if you like the video, subscribe if you like it. If you're watching the live stream, stay tuned. Otherwise, we'll see you at the track. All right. There's 2 down. We got 3 more to go for that.
We just had a 10-1 over an 81 at Aqueduct for anyone who cares. So it's just bombs away all over the country right now.
That made me feel better about getting nosed out in the 5th leg for sure.
It's funny how you can get off tilt sometimes by the next race, right? Where you lose a terrible photo and then the next race you don't have the horse anyway. So like, oh, never mind. That photo didn't matter. All right. So next race up for us, Gulfstream Park, 9 minutes to post to race number 13. So we're headed back down to Florida here, and we're going to have another stakes race, I believe, right, Magic? Oh, yeah. We're going for the Appleton, the Kitten's Joy Appleton.
The Kitten's Joy Appleton Stakes. Yeah, we're going a mile. Older horses on the turf here. When we did the draft pick for this, now defunct, I went first and I picked English B, and right now English B, the 5-2 second choice on the line. Man, Phantom Currency is taking a lot of money. That is just crazy. They must really think this horse is just going to explode out of the gate. I mean, almost 14 months off the layoff here to be coming back in the spot. JD, when you see that he's at 2-1 right now, so definitely playing to that morning line that Pete IL has set, do you think he's going to be legit here?
I mean, obviously, you look at the horse going into the long break, and that McDermott, if you rewatch it, I mean, it's a very impressive race. But anytime you're asking a horse to come back after 14 months, it's going to be a tough task. And obviously, he's been doing his work at Palm Meadows, and back-to-back 7 furlong drills. When's the last time you saw that? 3 weeks before a race. I do question, if the stamina is going to be there. We're just going a mile. This horse also wants more distance, so it's a very interesting spot. Could this horse be the best horse in this race? Certainly, but I definitely think the layoff and the distance works against Phantom Currency here.
I also agree with you where I don't think this is the target. This seems like a starting point to me. And when you have a favorite who's running in a starting point race, a race that's supposed to build, it's not usually a horse you want to be focusing on. I mean, I understand using the 7. I think I have the 7 in a couple tickets. But I don't think it's a horse that you really want to be singling through or even betting at 2-1. You mentioned that workout pattern. It's wild. I don't think I've ever seen a horse with 4 bullets. So they have 6 workouts shown. You got 4 bullet works. and the other 2 works are 7 furlong works. He was the only horse that worked 7 furlongs on that day. So clearly, you're seeing Lynch try and be able to put stamina into this horse. And we talked about it on the Magic Mike show. A lot of times you see a blowout 3 furlong work right before the race. Well, in this case, you saw Lynch do a blowout 5 furlong work and 57 flat, just to, again, try and force that stamina into this horse. Makes you think you're going to see speed, first off, right away from the 7. You expect that this horse is going to fire right out of the gate. It's a question of how long the 7 is going to be able to hold. And again, do you really want to swallow 9-5 right now on the board on a horse this really isn't the goal. This is probably a stepping stone to go on to Keeneland and then eventually up to New York and try and win a great stakes.
I think you nailed it. I think Keeneland is exactly where they want to take this horse. I think Brian Lynch loves to win turf races there, and I think that's an excellent spot. Like, this is a good mile to get him started, and then we stretch out to a mile and a half. Would that be the Sycamore? Is that the one that's at Keeneland, I think? Yeah. Anyway, sorry, JD. You were about to say something.
I was just going to say, I mean, at the same token, you're getting double the price on Wolfie's Dynaghost. Are you all in there?
I mean, so first off, the price on everybody else is really nice here, right? I think that, Gray's Fable, who you like at 8-1 is nice. Wolfie's Dynaghost at 8-1 is nice. I think it's wild that Noble Indy is 18-1. I think this horse is going to sit a perfect trip. English B, I think, is probably a little bit short at 5-2. It's not a horse you necessarily want to bet as a short price. I think probably I think English B is the most likely winner, and at 5, but I still think the most likely winner here is probably 22%, 23%, which means that you should be getting 3 or 4-1 to be able to get proper value on English B to bet to win. So because of that, I'd be looking at other horses. I think Noble Indy at 18-1 is wild. Like that to me is worth a flyer.
Yeah, and one horse I don't think we've talked about it all through this process is Scarlet Sky, who's also taking some money. I don't see it. Obviously, Shug with Joel Rosario coming off of a 3-month layoff has not been good so far. It was not good in 2020 at the end of 2021. You're really looking for that early 2021 form to return out of nowhere if you're going to take this horse at 7-2.
You are, but the counter argument is, holy shit, a lot of speed signed up, right? Like, true. And Scarlet Sky is the one true blue closer in this field, where where Scarlet Sky is going to be. We're going to save ground in the first turn and last. We're going to save ground in the second turn and last. Midway through that turn, we're going to tilt 4 or 5 wide, and we're going to try and chase down some tired horses. And we talked about this. I mean, we were rattling off the time form numbers, all high-paced numbers. You have a bunch of horses that want to be forwardly placed. We just talked about the 7's workouts, how he's most likely going to fire right out of the gate. Wolfie's Dynaghost has won last time going wire to wire. Gray's Fable won this race last year going wire to wire. Carpenter's Call has speed. You could see 4 or 5 horses. And again, we also talked about how sometimes when you hear that means one goes. But you could theoretically see 4 or 5 horses fighting for the lead early. That sets it up for exactly what Rosario wants to do. And that's come off the pace.
No, exactly. Just some early peek-ins here on odds on a couple of the races that we're going to be following here. In the Jeff Ruby Stakes, probably as expected, Tibbs the Bomb opens at even money. And in the Fantasy at Oaklawn, obviously the next race that's going to give you some Oaks points, Bubble Rock opens as the 2-1 favorite. I think both of those were probably expected to come down from their morning lines respectively.
Yeah, I agree. And we'll do a draft pick 4 for the Oaklawn late pick 4 here once Magic joins us again. I think he's doing a little daddy duty right now in the background. We did a top 5 in the Oaks on the Magic Mike show, and Magic was shocked I had Bubble Rock as my number 5 horse on the board there. I'm pretty high on Bubble Rock in this spot. I think it's interesting that we're trying dirt for the first time here, but the fact that we are and the fact that Brad Cox wants to go and try this horse in the Fantasy in a big spot in a big points race showed a lot of confidence to me.
Yeah, no, it's obviously the big question mark coming in is trying the surface for the first time, but obviously it's a confident move. It's a confident spot. You're going to try it. I don't think the distance is going to be any question. I think you look at the pedigree. I don't think there's any problems there related to dirt. It's obviously not a dirt first horse, but I don't see anything that says that Bubble Rock is, not a horse that can go 2 turns on dirt. Oh, we lost. I think you're on mute, Mike.
I thought this field without Secret Oath also came up pretty weak. That you don't have anyone that was really just a giant slayer in here, and that you could see someone like Bubble Rock be able to come in, take care of business, and get the job done. So this is one where I thought you could kind of take a little bit of a shot.
Yeah, and I think really, for me, The only horse that I really want to make a strong case for outside of it, we're going to do a draft pick 4, but just talking here is an Aqueduct Invader, which is probably the last thing I want on a Derby trail going south. You want horses going north in the Derby trail and trying to find them. You don't necessarily want a horse going south. And this horse, Magic Circle, is going south in terms of the odds board, 6-1 right now off the 5-1 morning line. But ran some impressive races in the New York circuit, not wins necessarily. Obviously won the Busanda and won a maiden race, and has not finished off the board except for in the Frizette, where there was definitely some trouble upper stretch, and Echo Zulu won that race going away. And with Echo Zulu coming back last weekend, no fault in losing to Echo Zulu, but that's the best case I can make for anybody else here, and that's pretty surprising.
It's interesting. I mean, you bring up Magic Circle, and I agree with you. Generally, the races get easier the colder you get, right? It's harder the warmer you get. And in this case, we're definitely getting warmer here. But you're going from the Rudy Rod barn to the Asmussen barn, which is generally an upgrade. And I really noticed Lascano riding a lot of Asmussen's top horses. I know that Santana and Asmussen broke up, we'll call it, over the winter here. And so Asmussen's kind of entertaining new jockeys. And it seemed like Lascano is going to get a lot of those top mounts here now for Steve Asmussen. Ends up here on Magic Circle. But one thing that I would mention is the horses and the races that Magic Circle is coming out of seem to be tougher than what he's facing here. I mean, you mentioned obviously Echo Zulu is top in the class, but Nest is a very good horse. Venti Valentine's a pretty good horse. So you could say that this is almost a drop in class, even though it is a race that would generally show up tougher than an Aqueduct prep.
Yeah, I mean, Venti Valentine was incredibly impressive in the Busher, winning by 7. So obviously not facing, nobody's there, has faced some very tough competition, but just also a different surface. We talk about it time and time again on both the Oaks and the Derby Trail. The Aqueduct winter surface is different than every other surface that these horses run on in the Derby prep season. It takes a special kind of horse to run over that, and sometimes those horses can fire at other tracks, and sometimes they're Aqueduct winter horses. So we'll see what the case is with Magic Circle here. With a little bit until post time here in the fantasy. We've got 14 minutes to post here. We have an unknown amount of time to post at Gulfstream because it's 2 minutes to post on the board. I have not seen a paddock shot as of yet.
They're on the dirt course right now. They have not.
Okay.
So we are officially warming up. So that's a good sign. We've not yet crossed over to the turf course. So 2 minutes is a little bit of a pipe dream here. I'd say we're closer to 5. So we'll talk a little bit about this Gulfstream race. Once Magic jumps in, we'll do a late pick 4 draft over at Oaklawn. And then we have right after that, we're going to head over to Turf Paradise for the Jeff Ruby Stakes, the first of the Kentucky Derby Stakes races, followed by the Florida Derby, the finale here at Gulfstream Park. So we're going to have a busy probably half hour here coming up. So we'll be firing from track to track. We got a couple people asking in the chat. Here's Dan asking, Noble Indy's looking really juicy, exacta with English B. When you're looking at this race from a betting perspective, we've obviously talked a little about what horses we like. Are you looking at just straight win bets? Are you thinking maybe this is a good exacta race? Obviously, there's quite a few prices if you want to try and get around the 7 Phantom Currency.
Yeah, I think first and foremost with how I play, I'm looking at a board where I don't really like Phantom Currency, so I'm looking at inflated win odds on anything that I like here. So Grace Fable obviously was my top choice in this race, defending champ, getting 8-1 right now. I would probably stick into a win and then exacta and maybe back wheel the exacta with 2 other horses. That would probably be where I would stick. I'm not a huge try or super player. So, for me, I'm looking at value usually in multi-race exotics, or if, obviously there's scenarios where a win bet is good and an exacta in the right spot can be just don't box your exactas, kids. That's the only thing I'll say.
Well, I will echo that. What I would say is that if you show me everything you bet in a race and I can't tell you who your first pick is, there's a problem with how you're betting. So if you're playing an exacta and you play a $10 exacta, 5-1 here, and you have a $5 exacta 1-5, great. I know you like the 5 more than the 1, but the 1's your second horse. If you play a $5 each way, that means you're saying you think those 2 horses are exactly the same chance to win, which I think generally is where some people kind of take the lazy route and just bet the box instead of trying to actually shape their bets in a proper way. You mentioned the doubles. the doubles are juicy. The lowest double without using the 7 is the 9-6 double and the 9-5 double. Surprisingly, looking at the daily doubles, Charge It seems to be your favorite right now in the Florida Derby in the doubles pool. I'm against Charge It completely, which means that I'm seeing value in the double pool because I'm against both of the favorites in these two races.
Yeah, Charge It is definitely, I think, is your definition of a wise guy horse here. Coming off of a very impressive maiden showing, but hasn't shown it against this level of competition, is going to take a lot of money. And as the double pools show, I mean, it's not going to be a straightforward wagering board when it comes to next race. So, obviously there's going to be some chances if you don't like that horse to maybe get some additional double value on a horse like White Barrio that you may not have expected. Or if you're going crazy like, Steel Sunshine, obviously somebody you might want to include in your doubles based on, what we're seeing today. I think closing has a chance at Gulfstream. I don't think speed is necessarily holding. So we know Steel Sunshine is going to close hard. And I think Steel Sunshine, if you are an exotic player that likes tries and supers, I definitely think it's a horse you want to key underneath. But, I think there's a chance in the Florida Derby for Steel Sunshine to maybe pull an upset based off of that. So, there's lots of things you can do with the double here, but we have to find a winner. And obviously I know Magic, when he comes back, he's big on English B here. And I think, English B is maybe the other horse we can look at that will close, probably going to be a little closer to the pace than what Scarlet Sky is. But obviously, it's been a while since, we saw a victory at Colonial on the inner turf.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know if you necessarily count that as a win per se, because that's just a completely different animal going long on the inner turf at Colonial. It's just a completely different race shape. And obviously you could see that by the fact that the horse was in the lead the majority of the race. Beyond that, you've got to go a ways back to get a win for English B. I mean, Parks Fall Derby, which October 8th of 2019, sorry. 2019 would be the last win for that horse besides the Colonial one.
It's been a minute, and that's the biggest knock on English B. I mean, English B has races that look like they're good enough to win, but he doesn't win. Like, he just doesn't win, and that's that. Now, I would say this is probably a little bit easier of a field. I mean, because you're really, if we're talking that Wolfie's Dynagos is a top competitor here, compared to graded stakes races where English B was competing, you're seeing a very different field setup here, especially, again, if you don't think Phantom Currency is going to be able to get it done. So to me, I look at English B here, and I'm thinking you might have found the right field with this horse. I think the same thing with Noble Indy. I'm going to play doubles with both of them. Right now, if you look at the board, you use the 9-7 double. So I'm White Barrio in the next race. So English B into White Barrio is $20. The one Noble Indy into White Barrio is $103. So great value on that in my mind. There's a lot of different ways you can go from a double perspective now that we're seeing that Charge It is going to be your favorite in the Florida Derby, according to the double pools here, as they walk onto the turf course or close to it. Let me pull that up again. As they walk close to the turf course here on Gulfstream Parks. We're 0 minutes to post, and it's a lot of options here. Magic, any thoughts on kind of what we've been talking about?
I've only been listening a little bit here and there. I do think that you guys have pretty much hit everything, though. I think this is a drum about the Kitten's Joy Appleton. I think we've pretty much handicapped it. I think as far as what we're looking at with the odds here, English B, taking a little bit of money there at 3-1. If you're looking for a price, what's holding on here? Carpenter's Call at 9-1. Wolfie's at 8-1. It's almost a little scary to me that Wolfie's is fading like that, and I guess I don't understand why the horse is being ignored like that on the board.
I mean, because Wolfie's Dynagos' best race came on synthetic in a $60,000 handicap field. Like that, I love Wolfie's Dynagos as much as anyone else. I finished 7th in HC because of Wolfie's Dynagos. Love this horse. Had this horse before that. This is not the spot that I would like to play Wolfie's Dynagos. We talked about him last time on the dirt where it wasn't the spot. Like, I think Wolfie's is in over his head here. He could get the job done. He's still improving, but this is a tough spot for him because it's just not the type of field that I think he needs. If he could get loose, then yes, I think he's really dangerous. I don't see him getting loose here. I think you're going to see 3 or 4 horses go. I think it sets up for horses that are sitting right behind the front pack and Scarlet Sky is coming from way back. All right, we are. We're loading in now at Gulfstream, so we are actually getting into the gate. Once this race goes, like I said, we'll be doing a draft pick 4 over at Oaklawn, so stick with us for that. Any last thoughts here, guys? Anybody you're playing in this spot?
I still like the 5, so I'm going there. I think the horse obviously is a need to lead type, and there's a couple of those in this field, so it'll be interesting to see how it strikes out. But 5-1, I think, is better for me. 5-2 on the favorite, backing up a little bit. Phantom Currency, interesting to see how this horse comes out after the long layoff.
I think the first quarter mile is going to be key here, and Wolfie's going right to the
Oh,
lead.
Wolfie. But this is good for Wolfie. Let somebody else lead and sit just behind him. Perfect.
Phantom Currency going right to the lead. Grace Fable going to sit 4th here, and the 8 horse is also going to go up and press now. So we're seeing Carpenter's Call go up and press the front end as well.
Holy late money on Carpenter's Call. That horse was 10-1 or 9-1 a second ago. 5-1 now.
Phantom Currency looking pretty comfortable up front. It's going to be all about how this layoff is going to play here. And Gulfstream Park with that wonderful 26-2 incorrect opening for the quarter. So that doesn't really help us very much here.
They just took it back off. They just said, no, never mind. Wolfie's is sitting comfortable. He's saving ground. English B, that's a great spot for who the hell horse is way outside there.
I think
the 2.
Is it? Yeah, that's not. Well, we're going to try and cut the corner NASCAR style here on the 2 horse. He's making
He's going to drift into it.
Early move here.
Listen, we're going to go outside, inside, outside. That's how you win these races, right?
Kevin O looking for Wolfie's here to try and get a big spot going into BCBC. And
Wolfie's is looking good.
He's got a handful of horse there.
If you've got space around your brother, you look good there. Scarlet Sky, turn, Scarlet Sky, turn. Other way, Scarlet Sky.
Not interested in turning today. Wolfie's going to try and go up the rail here and try and get the Phantom Currency. English B not making up enough ground. It's between the 7 and 3.
Go! He's not going to get there. Oh, Irad looked over and said, no.
Whoa.
No, he's not going to get there. No.
Phantom Currency off the layoff in those incredible workouts, floated up to 5-2 and able to get the job done here.
That horse is 1-2 in the Grade 3 Sycamore going a mile and a half at Keeneland next out. That was apparently 5-2. This was the time to get him at a price.
It's a great race off the layoff. I wish we could see the fractions. It would make it so much easier to understand how what actually happened there. And this is one of the frustrating parts. Thank God Gulfstream investing $3 million in this offseason here. Not going to run on turf once the championship meets over and completely redo the turf course and the timing there. Because guess what? We kind of need that. It helps as a handicapper.
JD, what did you think about that race? That was it was interesting. There were like 16 different moments I thought Wolfie's was going to get the win.
Yeah, and then it definitely did look like Phantom Currency was starting to get a little leg weary, and there were a couple moments where it looked like the horse wanted to lug in a little bit. So I think really it was a great job there by Irad to not get in Wolfie Dynaghost's way because the horse kind of wanted to. I think that was a great ride down the stretch for Irad. A lot of people talk about Irad's stretch rides, usually not in a positive manner, but in that case, I think it was a good one there, keeping everybody out of trouble. Wolfie, great performance coming up the rail. Obviously, Jose gave that horse the best chance there, and then Scarlet Sky. Don't know what happened there. Obviously, when you're, 4-year-old, but 11th start. That's something you see in like your second or third start. So we'll see. Hopefully that horse is okay and can bounce back here. I can't remember the last time I saw a Joel Rosario horse do that, but probably
he was trying too. Every time that she was on screen, you could see him. He was like trying to. He's like, yeah, stop it! Stop being an idiot. Get over.
All right, going to cut you guys off here because we have 4 minutes to Oaklawn. We got a draft pick 4 to do. So we've got to jump into it here. We're going to kick it off here with the Fantasy Stakes Grade 2 from Oaklawn, the 10th race. I'm going to go right ahead and take Bubble Rock because I've been talking Bubble Rock up for a minute here. So I'm going to go with the 9 Bubble Rock. JD, where are you headed in the fantasy?
I am going to go with the 4 Magic Circle, and so is Magic. So
you knew that. Why did you do it?
Well, because those are literally the only 2 horses I have in this.
I hate the price on her. I loved her at 8-1, 5-2, not so much. But let's throw the 1 Dream Lift in. It's Diodoro. It's second off the life. You throw off that Fairgrounds effort. if she can get that goldenrod effort. We'll see how many horses want to go a mile and 16th at Oaklawn here. I don't think there's that many actually.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I was 1-4-8-9 here, so I don't mind the 1-8-9 or 1-4-9 here. All right, head into the optional claimer, the second one. We got Garhole, we got Storm the Court. Magic, what do you say?
Garhole. Thank you for letting me pick Garhole.
No problem. JD.
It's the 5 horse.
I'm sorry, I had a bit of a technical issue here. Stand by 1 second.
Was it because I was screaming
go
Garhole
for it.
in the microphone? I apologize.
I'm going to go ahead and take the 11 Supremacy, Brad Cox, Florent Giroux, and see if we can get a little bit of a price. 8-1 on the morning line.
Macron for Asmussen, coming off of the second place effort at Oaklawn last time. 1-2 back, probably going to sit just off the pace and make one run at the leader, who will probably be absolute chaos, but going with the 8.
Didn't realize you were such an Assman fan. That's back-to-back Assmans you've taken.
Oh, Magic, with all the jokes. All right, we're going to head to the Arkansas Derby, the headliner of the day from Oaklawn Park. Magic, who you got in the Arkansas Derby?
Are you going to make me go first? Fine, I'll take Secret Oath. I'll be the one that takes Secret Oath.
All right, JD.
I like Chasing Time.
Oh.
What number is Chasing Time?
The 2 horse, and it's another Asmussen horse, which is why Magic just completely lost his mind. But you throw back, so much trouble in the Rebel. I'm willing to give the horse one more chance.
See, I kind of want Barber Road, but I kind of don't want Barber Road. I'm going to go with Doppelganger. I think
you're not allowed to pick anybody but Doppelganger.
Yeah, I like Doppelganger in California, so I got to give him a shot in Arkansas. All right, last race of the day. I guess we should start with JD. We know where you're headed here.
Yep, Bellamy's Roan, coming off of the maiden score. Obviously, this is an Arkansas bred allowance race, coming off the maiden victory against Arkansas breds. Going to keep it easy here for trainer Ronald Westerman.
All right, and Magic?
Hang on, I'm still trying to. My computer almost died because it wasn't an Asmussen horse that he didn't pick there. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. You give your pick. Let me look real quick.
I'm going to go with the 9 horse, Mahomey. Second off the layoff for the Morse Barn. John Velasquez takes them out. Trouble trip last time. Ton of speed. So I like the 9 in the last at Oaklawn.
Oh, man. I'm going to go against the ass man. I'm going to take the 4. I'm a Blink Cat Broberg first off the claim. Raylu Gutierrez, Regu with Jose Santos Inc. So, I'm going to go with that horse. That is the 4 horse, Mike.
Yep. All right. I'm going to type it up. You guys talk.
Talk. Where are we at as far as the Appleton? Are we going in the gate yet? Oh, wait, that race already happened. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we're
3 minutes.
Fantasy, and then 3 minutes to the Jeff Ruby Stakes.
Oh, shit, that's right. Are they going to be on top of each other here?
The Turfway will hold. They did last race. So
actually,
Turfway
I did notice that. You're right, yeah. All right, let me pull up.
All right, there's our draft pick 4 for the late pick 4 at Oaklawn. We're going 1-4-9 with 5-8-11 with 2-4-6 with 4-7-9. We're about to go here at Oaklawn Park. Looks like they're about to walk into the gate. So we'll head over to Oaklawn, and then we can talk a little Turfway here. We got the Jeff Ruby Stakes that's going to go right after that, I'm guessing. Sitting at 2 minutes to post right now in the Jeff Ruby Stakes as they walk into the gate at Oaklawn. All right, so fantasy stakes. I like the 9 here. I'm hoping that Bubble Rock can validate my top 5 Phillies pick. And this will be the last of the Phillies to run today, so we can give a little feedback here on how good Kathleen O was compared to the other winners. Throw the O up. JD's gonna start doing it, man. We're gonna make this a thing.
I love that.
Yeah, final odds. I mean, Bubble Rock basically right where Bubble Rock started, 2-1.
Whoa, jeez. 7 horse just took out about 3 horses there. All right, so we got the 7 horse Ugiri on the lead. This is a horse, very classy filly. I think she's definitely got a strong chance to hit the board, especially getting out in front here. Giroux and Rudy Brissett 4-1. Beguine sitting right behind a horse that broke her maiden going gate to wire over the 2 turns for the first time. And there's Bubble Rock. Mike Somich is number 5 ranked Oaks horse currently coming into today. She's got a really nice spot. Do you like Bubble Rock being second there, Mike?
I mean, they're going pretty good, 23-second clip. But like I said, you do want to be more forwardly placed right now at Oaklawn. I think that's a good spot for her. She is going to get every chance from there. If she's good enough, she wins now. So it's just the question of if she's good enough now. Look at the late money there on Dreamlift, too. Going down to 8-5 from an 8-1 morning line for the Diodoro Barn.
And I did not expect Magic Circle to be this far back. I think Magic Circle might be done here.
I am surprised Magic Circle is there too. I thought Magic Circle would be the one pressing the pace. We're heading into the far turn here, and it looks like it's still Yagiri that's going to sit up top. Bubble Rock starting to make a move now, inching closer on the outside. 2 horse coming up the inside, and the 8 is in play as well. Let's see what happens here coming down the lane. I actually like Hardy Constitution as well, the 8, who's circling up on the outside here.
Yeah. Boy, you.
All right, come on, Bubble Rock.
Go right, still holding strong. Let's see how she.
Come on, Bubble Rock. Grind her down. Grind her down.
Boy, look at the 2. Oh man, Bubble Rock. I think. But she's trying. But that 7 does not want to give up. My God, look at the heart on that filly.
Yagiri, holy moly,
wow.
That was impressive.
Wow, Yagiri.
So they slowed down there. They go 111 and then 137. So 26 seconds for that inner, and then come home in 6 seconds. So she sped up as soon as that 2 horse came right to her inside. That's a heck of a performance there by Yagiri for Rudolph Brissett.
I mean, this is a horse that looked Secret Oath in the throat latch in the Honeybee and then backed up. That looks like a completely different horse today. Second off the layoff.
That makes you like Secret Oath too. Next race. I mean, like you got that. That's pretty impressive that she absolutely destroyed that horse last time out.
Absolutely.
All right, we've got to flip over here quickly. We're going to head over to Turfway Park now. We've got 2 minutes to post here in the Jeff Ruby Stakes $600,000 100-point Kentucky Derby race. Sorry,
I had to stay there.
Had to laugh. Jeff Ruby Stakes. We got about 2 minutes, guys. What are your thoughts here?
Let me see. What are the odds here on the horses? Let me pull that one up.
Tiz the Bomb currently sitting at 7-5 favorite, and Stolen Base, who ran second to Tiz the Bomb last time out, sitting at 4-1 in the local prep. For me, I was interested in Tawny Port, the 5 horse here for Brad Cox. I thought the 8 Red Run was awfully interesting. I'm shocked to see Red Run sitting on the board at 15-1 right now.
Yeah, I am as well. You got a gun runner for Asmussen, who's until that last race right there was doing pretty well today, but not everybody's going to be 1,000. JD, what do you think about this field?
I'm really interested in Tawny Port as well. I think really the Risen Star wasn't a great performance, but the 2 races on synthetic are both good. And this horse is not really bred to like synthetic, which is also the interesting thing. So Brad Cox just finding spots here, try to make the Derby starting gate. Also, selfishly, I have a gigantic sire future on Pioneer of the Nile for the Kentucky Derby, and I need to at least get a couple horses in the starting gate to really feel that a little bit, because it's the last time you could have a future on Pioneer of the Nile. This is his last crop, so that was kind of a send-off for me here, because that was a horse that the horse itself and then the progeny have made me a lot of money over the years.
Hey, it worked out if you did that with Scat Daddy, right? With Justify in his final year. So,
what do you guys think of Tiz the Bomb here at 7-5?
You can't. I mean, the way this trainer's run everything this year, that you can't trust anything that's going on. I mean, he's talks about going to Ascot for the Epsom Derby and then the Bluegrass and then Florida Derby, and he shows up here, and we're like, okay, so what's next? He's like, well, maybe Kentucky Derby, maybe Epsom Derby, maybe this, but we're like, what do you know? Do you have an actual clue what you're doing with this horse? I'm not trying to be mean. Do you have an actual clue? Because I'm starting to question it. I don't know.
I just know that the juvenile turf is going to not come back as one of the finer juvenile turfs that has ever existed. And are we going to get the Tiz the Bomb that, won the Battaglia, or are we going to get the Tiz the Bomb that I think is still running at Gulfstream Park from the Holy Bull? That's the question. And I don't have a good answer in this field. So I think obviously with questions like that, there's just too much to question. And are they looking at the finish at Oaklawn, by the way? I'm getting a slow-mo. I'm seeing a slow-mo replay of the stretch run. So there might be a claim of foul here.
I think they're going to take the 2 and the 7 down and put the 9 up. They are looking at the 7 and the 2. It looks like it was, I would call, mutual interference.
Yeah.
Because the 2 comes out as much as the 7 goes in. And so there's a little bit of rub and race in there, but it looks like it's both of them that are causing the problem, not specifically one-sided in that spot. I kind of agree with you on Tiz the Bomb. It's tough to really trust him. That juvenile was interesting to say the least. At Del Mar last year, with the winner obviously not being able to cash. But we'll see what happens here. Yeah, that was a fun one. Quick here. Someone asked thoughts on the 9 horse here. I don't even want to pronounce that name now that I pull it up. Dogmatic Chief. Dogmatic Chief. Any idea on the 9 here? Any chance, JD?
Yeah, I mean, coming in from Fairgrounds, won the Black Gold last time out. Basically took the field wire to wire. Got a really soft fractions. You go back to Sam Houston, the Bob Bork Turf Mile. Obviously set the pace there, and just succumb to Red Run. I think of the 2, I would prefer Red Run, the 8, over the 9. However you just pronounced it, Mike. The Chief. We'll just call him the Chief.
I like that.
But out of the 2, I would prefer the 8.
Yeah, I'm with you too. The price on both of these, I think, is attractive. So if you like the 9, I would not try to talk you off it at 18-1. For my money, I would rather take the 8 here, sitting at 15-1. But I think that both are attractive prices if you're going after one. I do expect the 9 to be up front. And so we'll see if we can have another horse kind of get brave up front, which is what we've seen a couple times today at Turfway going 2 turns. So I think that's an interesting way to look at it. Down here, Cindy says the 3 horse is interesting. Cabo Spirit. This is Papa Jorma horse for Joe Bravo. Magic, any thoughts on the 3?
I mean, this is the horse that I wish they would just give him a little bit of time off and wait for Del Mar, because he's a really good turf horse in California and you can make a lot of money. He's not going to, they've already tried dirt. He's not a dirt horse. So they're going for purse money here. It's $600,000. Maybe it works out at a price. Sure, he's great. I just personally, man, I wish they would just give this horse some time off and target Del Mar, because he's a really nice, classy horse on turf for California.
And we've got all 13 in the gate here now for the Jeff Ruby Stakes. 100 points on the line. Actually, more than that, but 100 for the winner on the line here for the Kentucky Derby. See if the Chief can get out here to the early lead, and we'll see what happens. I'm hoping for the 5 and the 8 here. I think, JD, you're the 5. Magic?
Shoot. Magic was on hang on. They're off. I think I was on the 9. Oh, yeah. Dawajak Chief.
Dawajak. Thank you for pronouncing it.
Oh, sorry. Was there a question? Yeah, Dawajak's it's a Michigan town. It's a Native American. Yeah, never mind.
There we go. Constitutional Lawyer bringing the heat early to Dawajak Chief, and we got the 6 on the rail. So it's a 3-headed battle up front here into the first turn. It looks like the pace is on.
It is. Yeah, it's the 13 swing shift actually out there with the 9.
Oh, I'm sorry. Swing shift. My fault.
Yeah, the Dawajak Chief is this is what I was expecting from him. This is why I liked him. I thought he had a decent chance to go gate to wire, and he even showed in the Texas Turf Mile that he got caught late, but I thought he did a really nice job of stalking and just couldn't get the job done. But Tom Amos putting this horse on synthetic. There are a lot of turf horses that give this race a shot, and they see synthetic, maybe it'll work. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. He's setting pretty quick fractions, but he has gone this fast before and won. So we'll see if he can get it done. It's just he hasn't done this against classy horses before.
Set up for the 5, who's starting to circle here.
I was just going to say the Tawny Port is about to take the lead here.
He's got
going
with him?
7 with him there. Tiz the Bomb.
Now those two look like they're moving pretty well.
Stolen Base, the 2 horse, my pick last time out in the Battaglia. He's closer to Tiz the Bomb this time. Boy, he might be able to catch him. Let's see. The Corrales thinks so. He's riding him pretty hard.
Tiz the Bomb takes the lead at the top of the stretch. Starting to open up here. Looks like he's open by about 2. I don't see any big threats coming. It looks like Tiz the Bomb is going to run away with the turf or with the Jeff Ruby Stakes here. Tawny Port looks like he's going to end up running second. So Tiz the Bomb is going to make the gate in the Kentucky Derby, which is just fine with me because it means some people will bet him and I will get to fade him.
Wow. Rich Strike came up the rail to finish 3rd there. Of course, we did not talk about for trainer Eric Reed getting some Derby points.
4th by a lot in the Battaglia last time. Tawny Port got 2nd there. That makes this horse was undefeated on synthetic in 2 starts. Tried dirt in the Risen Star and was soundly beaten. He got shuffled back a bit, so it wasn't the best trip for him. But I don't think it seemed to enjoy dirt that day. Do you guys think that Tawny Port, because he will be in 40 points to 2nd place, he's in the Kentucky Derby. JD, do you take Tawny Port to the Kentucky Derby?
I don't think so, but we'll see. We'll see what the connections think. I really think they're. Brad Cox is going to look at other options for this horse down the line. Again, I think this horse probably really wants turf at the end of the day, and they have not tried it as of yet. So we'll see.
Special Golden Kitten says no. JD says no. Mike, what do you say?
Yes.
You do.
I don't. Would I do it? No. Well, actually, that's a lie. Yes, I would. If I have any
I'm the
horse,
owner. Hell yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, that's the thing. The problem here is let's look at Peachtree Stables. I don't know Peachtree Stables that well. If I own Peachtree Stables, I got a shot to have a Derby horse. I'm running that horse in the Derby, right? Especially if last race you tried to the Risen Star. You tried to get points on the dirt before, and the trip wasn't great for Tawny Port. When you go back and you watch it, 6 wide, got shuffled back early. You could make an excuse there, and you're also going to have a pretty hot pace in the Derby. So why not take a shot if you think the horse is good enough? So I bet that we do see Tawny Port in the Kentucky Derby. Yes, this is correct. Without the bleep.
Yes, that is right. And as Dan said before in the chat, everybody goes to the Derby. Listen, who knows what Kenny McPeek's going to do? He'll tell you a different answer, a different race, depending on the day. I said before, I don't know what he's doing. Well, he's winning big purse races, right? This is a $600,000 purse race. So Kenny McPeek gets 10% of 60% of that. So, you know, Kenny McPeek knows what he's doing in terms of, I guess, going for the purses. With this horse, what's your end game?
This was the correct.
Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say, this was the correct spot for Tiz the Bomb. This was the correct race to run this horse in. So this was, in that case, like, he made the correct decision, although he kind of was a little flip-floppity trying to get to that correct decision.
If the Epsom Derby is your goal, why are you running on the goddamn synthetic at Turfway Park twice? I get it for this one, the Battaglia. Why did you do that? That was a complete joke when you had better chances. I don't know. Anyways,
like I said, this was the correct spot. JD, tell us about Peachtree Stables.
Yes, please.
I was just going to say they've won the Kentucky Oaks with Plum Pretty back in 2011. So they have they've been familiar with the weekend. They also were the owners of Lord Nelson.
So did you Google that or did you know that?
I Equibase.
Okay. I was going to be impressed if you just knew that off the top of your head there.
Number one fan, Peachtree Stables right there. Peachtree Stable fan 1 is his Twitter account handle. Hey, listen, if you're watching the live stream, keep watching. We're going to keep covering all the great races. But if you caught the replay, thanks for joining us. Leave a like, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave us a comment below telling us what you think about Tiz the Bomb in this race and our crazy thoughts. We'll see you at the track. All right. We're not that far away from...
And then there was one. We'll flip over here. We'll flip over here to Gulfstream Park, the last race we're going to cover today. We're not going to stay the extra hour here for Oaklawn, which unfortunately had the Arkansas Derby run at like 7:30 Eastern. But hey, what are you going to do? They decided to start at 2 o'clock Eastern instead of moving everything up like most places did. So here we go. We've got Gulfstream Park, the Florida Derby. The probably most impressive prep race we're going to see the entire Kentucky Derby prep race season here is the Degenerates Google. That's actually a great point. I like that, Special Golden Kitten. First off, before we get into this, I want to give a shout out because I don't want Kevin to think we missed this. Kevin O, currently first in the BCBC qualifier, longtime Magic Mike listener. Really appreciate it, man. I have long said the BCBC is the absolute toughest tournament to qualify for, because you have to win a tournament with at least 60 people to get in. If you're in the $169 one, it's very, very difficult. So good luck, Kevin, going to the last. I hope White Barrio gets it done for you. That would be absolutely awesome, man. Definitely be rooting you on. So good luck in the last there, going for a BCBC seat. JD, have you ever played BCBC?
I have not. So
That's
it is not something that I am eligible for. We'll just leave it at that.
Gotcha. That's a crazy one, man. That is a very, very, very tough tournament to get in, and it's tough when you sit there and you've never kind of played for that kind of money in that style. It's very difficult to play as well your first time. But Kevin, good luck, man. Hopefully you get in. And the nice part is you do get a paid trip to the Breeders' Cup as well. So that in itself doesn't suck. But we are about 9 minutes here from, we're 9 Gulfstream minutes, 5 Gulfstream minutes. I'm sorry. That's a joke. From the Florida Derby here. We haven't talked about this one yet. We got 4 big time contenders. We got Classic Causeway. We got Simplification. We've got White Barrio. We've got Charge It. And currently, Charge It is your favorite. JD, what do you think about that?
I knew it was going to be the Wise Guy horse. I thought the Wise Guy horse started with the 7-2 morning line, and that's what we were going to get. I know I handicap this as I do most things before the morning lines come out, and I'm like, okay, this is a horse that, okay, if you take out the connections, this is probably a 12-1 horse in this spot. Morning line comes out 7-2. I'm like, okay. and now we're seeing the horse be the favorite. I'm very surprised. Obviously, this horse could be much the best in the spot, but unproven at this stage. I'm not going to put 2-1, even 5-2 on a horse at this stage against this competition that hasn't proven itself.
So I'll ask you a question I asked Magic on the Magic Mike show. We did the late pick 4 sequence here. We talked about this race a lot. It was the one we talked about the most on the show, obviously. If you had to pick one of the 4 major contenders to miss the board, which of the 4 would you pick?
I'd pick Simplification to miss the board.
Just to not be able to make up enough ground late, or what's the reason behind it?
I think really this could be a scenario, the most likely scenario to where one of those horses isn't right there, is that they're just Simplification is just too far back and is charging but can't get there. I mean, I think that's the best example you can give of that. I think Barrio is going to be closer. I think Charge It is going to be pretty close, and Classic Causeway is going to be on the lead. So I think of those 4, Simplification would be the one that would surprise me the least to not hit the board.
I would pick Charge It if I was asked that question. And this is a huge step up. And we've seen Pletcher after Pletcher struggle during this whole Triple Crown trail, right? I mean, Emmanuel was supposed to be the bee's knees. He ends up missing the board. Now we're going to see him one time at Keeneland to try and make the Kentucky Derby. We'll see what happens there. He had American Icon. He had Ironworks. He had just horse after horse that just kind of faltered. Mo Donegal ended up 3rd, I think it was, in the Fountain of Youth. We're going to see him up in the Wood next time. The barn's been struggling, and Charge It wasn't supposed to be the star. And now Charge It is the best hope, I would say. Some people might say Mo Donegal, but I think it's between those two if you're making a case for what the best Pletcher is left. And you look at Charge It's races and you look back, and first time out, he loses to Volcanic. Well, Volcanic comes back, runs the Tampa Bay Derby, and isn't that impressive. And second time out, he comes back and wins, but beats nobody. And again, was just not that dominant. So I'm really concerned about what we're going to see here from Charge It. And I think Charge It is facing, a superior speed horse in Classic Causeway. And so now we're going to ask Charge It to rate to be able to do this. I think it's a lot to ask here. I am completely baffled as to why Charge It is 5-2, but I'm not shocked because I agree with you. This quickly became the wise guy horse. And I think it's mainly a connections play.
Yeah. And the one thing, and some people take this with a grain of salt and some people rely on it, but I will say that the only horse from the debut from Charge It that has broken the maiden is Charge It, second time out. No one else has broken the maiden at this stage. Now it's early. This maiden was back in January, but still, I mean, these are 3-year-olds in January, and some of them had ran multiple times previous. So what did, Charge It run into that day? Not really sure at this point. Who did Charge It beat in the maiden? Not sure at this point either. So it is pure speculation. It's a connections play. We'll put it this way. He has not beaten a horse that has a 1 in the victory column as of yet. And today would be the first day he would do it.
Yeah, I actually stabled up Touch Code out of that race because Touch Code got beat by Charge It the race before. Touch Code came back and got crushed by a first-time out Pletcher next time out. That race has just gotten worse and worse that he broke his maiden in, and it makes it harder and harder for me to swallow 5-2. I am repeating myself here. I agree with Eric. I can't believe White Abario was 7-2. I mean, this horse has done absolutely nothing wrong. One race off the layoff, coming at 80% cranked, made Simplification, who's 3-1, a shorter price, look pretty bad when you go back and watch that race. I mean, Simplification was tired and getting caught by Mo Donegal. Well, White Abario was not down the lane. So I don't think the extra distance is a problem. The horse has been working out better, is more cranked, didn't have any issues from a health perspective coming into this race, which he did coming into the Fountain of Youth or the Holy Bull. So for me, I'm surprised White Abario was sitting up there at 7-2.
Yeah, I think some of the talk, obviously early with, Classic Causeway, White Abario, and then Smile Happy, like the Kentucky Jockeys Club is going to be the key race from the 2-year-old season. And really it's just been Classic Causeway and White Abario. Obviously Smile Happy came back and finished second, and kind of unknown where Smile Happy's really, sits in this whole thing after losing to Epicenter and the Risen Star. Again, another Kenny McPeak horse that we have no idea where the horse is going to end up. But,
noticing a trend.
It's really been those, it's really been those 3. But, the Holy Bull, I mean, that they answered every question there. And to see that, dominating fashion, the 4.5 length victory, beating, Mo Donegal, who again is a very highly touted horse, Simplification, who is lower on the odds board than White Barrio right now. I'm confused. I'm very confused as to why White Barrio's floated up here. And I'm also kind of surprised that, Classic Causeway is just at 5-2. I was expecting 2-1, maybe 9-5. So again, I mean, this has been an interesting betting race so far. There's still plenty of time for people to place their wagers. 2 minutes to post. They're just going through the post parade on the track live. So we're going to be here a while, but still very interesting. And then, there's some horses that people have given a little credit to. I mean, Papa Cap has been right there a few times. Lecomte, the Juvenile, the American Pharaoh, won the Best Pal last year, which is such an early grade 2. I don't know how much stock you can put in that, but, Papa Cap's at least been an honest runner outside of the Risen Stars. So Papa Cap returns to form 11-1. That's not a bad spot. And I've got a lot of people that I trust that want to give Strike Hard another chance in this spot. And at 34-1, at least to complete your exotics, your trifectas, your superfectas, I wouldn't be surprised to see Strike Hard run on to claim one of those positions.
I'm glad you brought that up. So let's very quickly here, because we got 2 minutes to post. Let's give out our top 3, because I think they're both going to be pretty chalky here. So let's just give out our cold top 3. Mine would be White Barrio, Classic Causeway, Simplification in that order. So 7, 2, 3. What would your cold try be there?
2-7-6 for me.
And Magic, your cold try?
I'm going to go, 7. You said what I said, 7, 2, 3.
Okay, now we got that out of the way. No one cares about chalk, right? Let's talk about the prices that could absolutely blow this thing up, because there's a bunch of prices once you get outside of these 4 horses, and you definitely could see 1 or 2 of them run up into the try or the super and create a big time number. I think it's going to be tough for any of them to win, but I do think there's a couple prices you can play. JD, you want to kick us off with a price play here? I think you did Strike Hard, I think was where you were headed there.
Yeah, Strike Hard. I think you look back at the Mucho Macho Man. I still have a hard time saying that. Back on New Year's Day at Gulfstream Park, ran into Simplification. Simplification was best that day. Really an even effort, but still was making up ground and didn't let anybody pass at the end of the day with Junior Alvarado up, who is back on board today. Sam F. Davis. It's not a terrible race on paper. Finished 4th, beaten 6.5. But again, Classic Causeway, much the best that day, wire to wire. And this horse had to make up a lot of ground and was making up ground at the end. You go back, has done well on the dirt at Gulfstream, won an allowance, broke the maiden. So, a local horse also as well is helpful in this scenario against, some horses that have ran here and some horses that are shipping. I mean, Classic Causeway, obviously first time going around Gulfstream. So, Strike Hard's got a local advantage and will be flying late. We'll just see how far Classic Causeway and company is ahead of Strike Hard at that point. But I definitely think Strike Hard can fall 3rd or 4th in this spot.
Magic, what if you're playing a crazy price, second, third, 4th holes, where are you looking for here?
God, this is tough. I mean, the 11 horse 70-1 to me stands out as a huge. I never can remember underlay, overlay. That's the horse should be the 70-1 is way too high of a price on that horse, is what I mean. Because Little Red Feather Racing bought into this horse after not winning last out, after getting actually pretty handily beaten by Skippy Longstocking, who Saffy Joseph Jr. sending to the Wood Memorial. This horse, I kept seeing this horse is not going to win. It comes from way too far back. I think because this horse comes from way too far back, he's going to be picking horses off, and he's got the stamina, he's got the breeding to handle 9 furlongs. And you're shaking your head a lot, nodding your head a lot. So I'm guessing that means you agree with me.
Yeah, I mean, look, this horse improved big time. I'll go pull that back up. You look at that last race going 1 1/8 miles. You saw a huge step forward. It's going to be second time going that distance. This is a horse by Constitution out of a I forgot who it was. Constitution out of an Unbridled Song mare. Should love every bit of distance we're going to get here. 71, I think, is a crazy overlay. Actually, let me rephrase that. 71 isn't a crazy overlay. It's the correct odds to win the race, but it's not the correct odds to hit the try. And so this is one of those situations where if you're betting to win versus you're trying to figure out who's going to finish 3rd or 4th, this horse is going to get underplayed in 3rd or 4th because of its win odds. So it's a chance to kind of get an extra value there in the trifecta. We've got a lot of people that are saying, oh, captain. So I think we got to at least mention, oh, captain here. I'll talk about him. So for me, it would be the 11 as well. That would be the one that I would bring in there. Papa Cap, I think, is a little interesting at 12-1 too, if you want to. My biggest issue with Captain, who definitely took a step forward, and I like the jockey upgrade to Rosario here, and should set up from a pace perspective. You're going to have a ton of pace in this spot, or you would assume so. And the reason I like the 11 is the same reason people could make an argument for Captain here, able to kind of pick up the pieces and run up into third or fourth. My biggest issue is that last race, I think Captain benefited from what happened around the turn, and that made that race look a little better than it necessarily was for Captain. So we'll be able to. It's going to be interesting to see if he's going to be able to run that same race without everything happening in front of him. But again, this is one of those horses where I think it makes a little bit of sense at 13-1 if you do want to put this horse in third or fourth place and see if you can really blow up a trifecta or superfecta.
One thing I'll say about Captain.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I was going to say one thing, and this is going to be random. Half to Royal Sun, who's very, very honest horse, and actually won the Battaglia back in the day. I looked up that note, and that has nothing to do with anything we're talking about here. It's just a fun fact. Go ahead, Magic.
Jeff Ruby was last race, buddy. We just got done talking about that. I don't like I think he's getting way overplayed here. And he 13-1 right now because you had a race, the Fountain of Youth. People are like, oh yeah, he got up for third. What happened to two actual good horses in that race? They got taken out, right? And multiple horses beyond that, not just the ones that fell. So I think that the top two finishers from that race you would want moving forward, but nobody behind who didn't have traffic trouble from that, and that includes Captain. And Michael Myers, if you love Captain so much, why didn't your fantasy team claim him?
I think this is interesting. This is one of the things that we talked about like Kathleen O's race, and we mentioned this again. That's a tough race to bet because you had one heavy favorite who was 4 to, or in that case, 2 to 5, I think is what she went off at. And it was tough to say, okay, let's try and find some value here. If you like anyone, 3-1 on Classic Causeway, 3-1 on Simplification, 3-1 on White Barrio, all legitimate prices. So if you really have a big opinion, a win bet here, I think is a great way to go as well, because you're getting a good number on all three of those horses.
Yeah. This post drags at Gulfstream, they drive me crazy. They really do.
I said it was 5 minutes, and that was, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes ago now. But we are walking up to the gate here, so I think we are close to the post time here. I'm personally pumped for this race. I mean, I think this is the most exciting prep for me, because I think you have 4 legitimate horses that, if Charge It wins this race, could be legitimate Kentucky Derby contenders, right?
Are we shocked, though, if Charge It wins this? I kind of am. And at 2-1, I'm nervous about that, but I feel like maiden special weight straight into this, the way that the Pletcher 3-year-olds have been running, yeah, this is a tough spot. JD?
Yeah, I would be shocked if Charge It wins, but I think Charge It is a solid horse, and I think Charge It's going to run well and might be a contender down the line, maybe not in the Derby, but might be a Belmont horse.
7-2. He went in the gate, and he's now 7-2. White Barrio, Mike. He's 4th choice.
I'm shocked he's 4th choice. I really am. I think, look, if Charge It wins, I would be very surprised. But if Charge It wins, I'd also then have to consider Charge It Kentucky Derby contender, right? So it's kind of an interesting twofold situation there. White Barrio down to 3-1. Simplification and Classic Causeway holding at 3-1. Charge It is definitely going to be your favorite breaking from the gate here, currently sitting 2-1 with 75% of the field into the gate. So we are about to break from the post here for the Grade 1 $1 million Florida Derby.
Man, this is I'm excited. This is we've seen a lot of good races, or a lot of Oaks and Derby races. What?
White Barrio just got popped. He's 5-2 now. Co-favorite.
There you go. Sorry, you said whoa like somebody broke through the gate or something like that. Jesus.
That's a lot of money. White Barrio now co-favorite.
Well, and now Simplification's your favorite at 5-2.
Yeah, with Simplification.
All right. So the crazy
3-1.
bullshit ended as we were, okay. All right, now we're good. We're in the gate. Let's go, boys. Good breaks for everybody. All right, there we go.
Simplification.
Causeway got a flyer.
Oh my God, Causeway was gone. But Simplification is right there with him. Look at that break for Simplification. Holy smokes. All right, do not let that horse go.
Charge It was asked a lot out of the break. Did not break that well. Got asked pretty heavily and sitting in 4th now on the rail. It looks like they're cooking pretty good up front here with Classic Causeway. Simplification sitting in 2nd. Papa Cap at a number sitting in 3rd. Right behind them, Charge It and White Barrio. I think everyone's pretty happy with where they're at. The only person maybe Charge It that's not super stoked about the position.
Yeah, he's buried inside of stakes winners. Multiple stakes winners are in front and alongside him. He is, oh boy. If he wins this, God, you've got to think he's so good for the Kentucky Derby, because this is such a hard spot for a horse in coming off that maiden special weight win. Classic Causeway 23-3, 47-1, good fractions, but now we've got simplification taking over.
Yep.
Uh-oh. If you're Classic Causeway fan, are you worried?
Simplification taking over. You're starting to see charge it being asked. Papa Cap now taking over from simplification.
Uh-oh.
And there's someone starting to move on the outside. It's
Papa Cap's backing up.
Yep. Papa Cap's backing up a little bit. You're starting to see Clapton run on a little bit from the back. He might be the one who tries to muck up the try a little bit. Charge It seems to be re-breaking a little bit. White Abario hasn't been asked yet. And he's sitting on the
six behind you. Oh, he just pressed go on him. He just pressed go on White Abario. All right, we're gonna have a showdown here. We're gonna have a 7-3.
The 6 is coming, man.
Six is starting to make a move here. White Abario goes to the lead pretty easily.
Open up. Come on, White Abario.
Here comes Charge It.
Now,
Charge It running a big race.
Hold him off. You got this, White Abario. You got this, baby.
Charge It really green in the stretch.
All right.
White Abario is gonna
in hand.
Hold on for a Florida Derby victory. Congratulations, Kevin O. BCBC winner. That's awesome, man.
Kevin. Way to go, dude. Oh.
White Abario.
Oh, Mike Somich. Doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it just
go to racingdudes.com YouTube and check out the interview with the owner who talked about this horse not being cranked for the Holy Bull. Gave it away in that interview. So check that out as well. We got that on YouTube. That was a heck of a one. Yeah, awesome celebration there from the jockey
Tyler
too.
Gaffleone, by the way, getting married in a few months. Having himself one hell of a day and the best Derby candidate by far he's had since Good Magic, who got second to Justify. I mean, my God, this guy. Look at it. And look at in the chat here. Dan Mason, White Abario, bet him heavy to win, got the pick 4. Bree got the pick 4. Kevin, there you are, buddy. Way to go.
$10,000 fee, man.
Oh, way to go. Okay. All right. So celebrations. Let's talk about it. Top 3 you see right there. Huge gap to Papa Cap, who's in 4th. Let's talk about what we saw here from the other horses. White Abario, very strong. Charge It all over the place in the stretch. I saw that from a couple people in the chat there. Still gets second and first time going 2 turns, first time facing winners. Boys, this was, I thought actually the way he didn't give up and kept fighting, very impressive effort. JD, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I think definitely impressive effort and what we kind of expected from White Abario. Big performance coming off of what we saw last time out. I think, one thing that can be said on Classic Causeway is already in the Derby field. As soon as, I don't think Classic Causeway, I don't think Irad ever asked this. As soon as the other horses passed, Irad's like, cool, we're done. So top 4 finishers plus Classic Causeway are all in the Derby. So we got 5 horses that will have enough points to be in the Derby from this race.
I said 5, Mike. When I asked you, I said I think 5 horses are going to leave this race and go to the Kentucky Derby.
Because Papa Cap had 14 coming in and gets 4th. That'll get enough to get him in the field.
24, yeah.
All right, so first takeaway.
Wow.
Charge It was really impressive. Like I'll eat the crow because I said the Charge It was the one I didn't want. Charge It ran huge. He missed the break. He got caught inside. First time against winners. He was moving there. He was green in the stretch, weaving in and out. So Charge It, really good race. Really good race from Charge It. Got to give him credit. I think Simplification probably wished he didn't break so well. I think he might have been better off coming from the back because as soon as he got pressed by Papa Cap, he gave it up. Dropped. Well, I shouldn't say that. He didn't drop the anchor, but ends up running 3rd here, but clearly ran better coming from the back of the pack. White Abario, I mean, really nice performance from him. He was able to sit right outside the speed, able to make that move, get the job done. I'm not sure the 6 was getting by if they go another furlong. The 6 was a little too green there. It'll be interesting to see how they come out of this. White Abario obviously will train up to the Derby, as will Charge It now. They're both legit contenders, I think.
Man. All right. So I think you guys have all made great points. Everybody in the chat, you guys are doing great. Dan, I'm buying the Baffert barn now. Yeah, liquidation sale starts Monday, 9 a.m. at Santa Anita, barn 1. It's right there in the front. So you can just pull your truck right up and start unloading. Jason says, Tyler's becoming my favorite jockey. Thank you. I've been a huge fan of Tyler Gaffleone for years. Mike Somich and I were on opposite sides. I'm glad to see everybody's kind of coming to the Tyler team.
I don't know that I'm necessarily anti-Tyler Gaffleone.
Oh,
that's
yes, you have. You said as soon as he leaves Gulfstream, he's a shit jockey.
I didn't say shit jockey, and I also would say there's no proof to anything once he leaves Gulfstream yet.
He won the title at Keeneland last year. Eric Ingman, yes, sir, hit the pick 4 and the pick 5. Love the emotion, from Tyler as he crossed the finish line. That was pretty great. Mark brings up an interesting point here. The final 3 furlongs and 39 14.96 seconds here. What do you think about that, Mike? Does that concern you at all?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they ran the last furlong in 14 seconds. That's not great. And I think that's the fact of Charge It being green and White Abario being a little tired. I mean, just to be frank, because he was up close to that pace. So when you're looking at a Derby perspective, that definitely concerns you, because if they go that slow, you got to start worrying about someone else who's making up ground late. Now we'll see what this never comes back. I mean, obviously, I'm going to want to watch replay a couple times and make a decision from there. But generally, you don't want to see a 14-second final furlong, especially when one of the main metrics going into the Kentucky Derby is how fast did you go your final half mile in your prep, because that's a great metric to predict a Kentucky Derby winner.
Beta myth episode 50% off. Bree, gonna be a white Derby. Yeah, listen, when's the last time? I actually don't know. When's the last time a white horse won the Kentucky Derby?
Should I buy a white suit for the Kentucky Derby?
I think so. And you got to have an orange and blue. The little what's the little?
Any white suit must come with a top hat and a cane. So you better not let us down, Mike.
Yes.
I have an orange tie for my wedding because I wore an orange tie for the wedding. So I could rock an all-white suit with an orange tie and a white top hat.
Did you see this, by the way, from Kevin? That trainer's interview that you did, Mike? Put him on White Abario. So listen, Kevin, what that means is that now you need to share some of the BC love with Mike. That's half that seat is now his. Is what
it means we can high-five each other when we run 1-2 in it. I already got my seat.
There we go. Calling the whole way around, even though we got floated 4 wide around the first turn. Listen, White Abario I thought looked pretty solid. Let's go with what Dan said, though. This will be our final talk about the Florida Derby. Did we see the Kentucky Derby winner in this race? Mike Somich, you've been White Abario's biggest supporter other than Mark Cornett with C2 Racing Stable for months. Is he the Derby winner, or did we not see the Derby winner here?
He is still ranked number 1 on my Derby rankings. If I bet the Derby right now, it would still be White Abario. It's been White. It's been like, actually that's a lie. I flipped Epicenter on top. Man, actually, God, the Magic Mike team is so damn good.
Oh, we're so good this year. And we have Doppelganger in the Arkansas Derby. We're gonna go 3 for 3, baby. Let's do it.
To me, White Abario and Epicenter right now are 1A and 1B. I think they have the right style to win, and you're gonna have a ton of pace. And both of them can stalk and pounce. They are close enough to make their own trip. That's again what White Abario did. He used his tactical speed to make his own trip here. I'm White Abario and Epicenter in my 1-2 right now.
JD,
my top selection for the Derby is in the quarantine barn right now at Churchill. Crown Pride.
I knew you were going to say Crown Pride. Listen, one of these times, the way the Japanese are running, one of these times when JD comes on a Racing Dude show and picks a Japanese horse, it might actually work. We'll figure.
One of these times, be right. We got to get him the white jacket with just a big red circle in the back.
So many things wrong with that. I'm Epicenter. This actually made me feel even better about Epicenter. And I know White Abario is going to be second off the layoff for the Kentucky Derby, but Epicenter to me has just looked so push button every step of the way. I'm like, this is great. But White Abario did nothing wrong. If we go Epicenter, White Abario 1-2 in the Kentucky Derby, Mike, I think you and I are going to be pretty happy with that result.
Yeah, I would be just fine if that's how we end this season.
All right. That's going to end this for the Florida Derby coverage. If you're watching the live stream, keep watching. We've got a little bit more to talk about. But if you're watching the replay, thanks so much for joining us. Hit like if you like the video. Subscribe if you really like it. Head over to racenews.com for free picks and analysis from every race, every track across the country. And we'll see you at the track. All right. I couldn't remember if there's anything else that we wanted to talk about or not.
Garhole is about to run at 4 to 5. So,
well, shit. I think we figured out what we're watching. All right. Where is my Opalm feed? There it is. Oh, literally right there. Wow. Okay.
So we'll talk a little Garhole, and then we'll wrap this puppy up.
Get out of here. Yeah. It's too bad the Arkansas Derby is not in this spot. They couldn't have worked their schedule around a little bit.
It's just everything's weird. They're figuring it out. They started earlier this year. It messed the dates of everything.
That's true.
And it messed the timing and all that stuff.
I did see some people say they really liked that it's been the trainers, I should say, they like that it's 5 weeks until the Derby.
That's great to hear, Davey. Thank you very much we got a tournament for subscribers at racingdudes.com every 2 weeks. JV signed up and joined that tournament, then had a blast and obviously having a damn good weekend. Nice to be up $1,000 in 2 days. Way to hit both of those pick sixes, man. And we were off. So it's officially Garhole time here.
Yeah. 21-3. He's way back there though. 21-3.
4 to 5 in this spot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
there's a lot of Garhole love. There's
I
a
guess
lot of Garhole
so.
love.
I mean, the inside horse, the one horse it's Storm the Court. That's right. Who's coming back here off the layoff.
I
Ended up
forgot
5-1.
still training.
Storm the Court exists as a horse. Yes.
That was your morning line favorite in this spot. He's going to have to fend off half the
Garhole's
field
not
here
going
to
to
be
get
able
there
to
this
win.
time. Come on, Garhole. No.
Is that the?
That's
Come on,
Macron,
buddy,
the
get
eighth.
out. Get
Oh,
out.
come
there,
on,
get after
Garhole.
him. Come on, Garhole.
I
Get
can't
after
imagine
him.
how crazy Aaron's going
Come
right
on.
now.
Get up there, buddy. No, he's not going to get there. Damn.
Oh,
another
we had the eight, though, didn't
white
we?
horse. Yep. 8-6-5.
Wasn't that Asmussen, JD?
Yep.
Very nice, very nice.
The Asmussen. We're in the midst of the Asmussen Pick Ford Oaklawn. Strap in, folks.
Missed by half a length last out at this exact level and distance. Listen, Garhole, not a bad race there, but a lot of traffic, and these were not Arkansas breds that he was trying to pass. Who was the runner-up, the 6th? And okay, so listen, the 8-6 went 2-3 in the last race. So, of course, they're going to be 1-2 here. That makes perfect sense.
All right, let's wrap it up here. Crazy day. We still have the Arkansas Derby left. We'll do a reaction for that on YouTube. So if you want to check out our reaction on the Arkansas Derby, we'll have that up once the race goes official there. Final thoughts on a wild day of racing from both Turfway, Oaklawn, and Gulfstream Park here. JD, kind of takeaways here?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway I have is just we have 5 horses from the Florida Derby and that are going to make the Derby field, and I really only like White Abario of them. Classic Causeway still could come back. Obviously wasn't asked and was put away really early in this spot, but I think we found that we probably, especially with how the race closed fractionally, we probably got some also rans, unfortunately, that we watched. So, and I'm not thinking huge things out of what we saw at Turfway today. So it'll be interesting to see what comes from the Arkansas Derby, and if Secret Oath can make it happen for the coach and have a good story there. I mean, I'd love to see. Obviously, we've got 2 stories next to each other in the starting 8 there. We got Uno Ho and Secret Oath. So one or both of those can make an interesting story come Derby time.
This was fun. This wasn't the. I think this was a great second course, right? Last week we had the Louisiana Derby. We had Epicenter come out and just bam, like one big race. There it is, like just right on the table. And then today we get 3 Derby preps and 3 Oaks preps, and we've seen 5 of those races so far. Picture's getting clear. That's what I like. We're getting a better understanding of things. The Oaks, it always feels murky to me right up until the race starts anyways, but we're getting a good picture. And then this is just really setting the table for next week when we've got Santa Anita Derby, we've got the Bluegrass. Was there a third one that I'm Wood Memorial? Yeah. So we've got 3 like major races. And after next week, I think we're going to really know what we like about the Kentucky Derby and everything. So, but it's very exciting. This is a great day, and I'm excited for next time. And JD, you were an excellent guest. Thank you so much for joining us, and safe travels to Portugal, my friend. We haven't talked about that yet.
Yep. Nope. Headed to Portugal tomorrow. So early. So got to get to fly the whole U.S. and then get on a plane in Newark and go over the pond. So look forward to it. And I think I picked the right week to go because I don't really want to be around the Santa Anita Derby. That just gives me bad juju right now.
You don't want to be there for the fire sale going on in Barn 1.
Well, I will say, I mean, to this day and still on all the rankings, Messier is the top-ranked horse for the Queen's Plate. So I still want to see Messier go for both Triple Crowns.
Yeah.
Both Triple Crowns, Ontario bred. He can do it. The races line up. You can look at it. Come on, Magic.
That'd be the first time an Oiler won anything meaningful in Canada in years.
Oh!
And on that note.
Wow. All right, listen, we're going to end on we're proclivity for positivity here. Special Golden Kid, my biggest takeaways at the beginning of the year. No one thought anything in this 3-0 crop, but I think it's pretty dang good and competitive. Special Golden Kid, I agree. It's been fun. It's been competitive. And listen, we wanted the Florida Derby and today to set the stage better for the Kentucky Derby. Knocked it out of the park. So for Mike Somich, JD Fox, thank you so much for joining us. See us over at racedudes.com for all of the coverage of the Kentucky Oaks and Kentucky Derby trails. We'll see you at the track, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, hold on, CC. Lucas. Look at the cocks re-breaking. What happened to that horse?
The cockpit. Cock's juice is flowing today, boys.